Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today the League of Ordinary Gentlemen proudly bring to you the Fantasy Football 5. Introducing Coach Jake Root.
Hello, you play to win the game.
Trigger Mike, Michael Smith.
Trigger Mike strikes again.
The Magic Man, Ryan Robertson.
You got a new nickname? The Magic Man. Now you see me? Now you don't.
And JT, the Commish.
Evening, Commissioner.
So we jump into our Week 13 review, Week 14 preview, with some big games on the line coming up this week.
Online or on the line?
Holding the line forever. Jay Broach style.
Jay Broach style.
Jay Broach. So I guess the best place to start
This is the beginning.
would be in Week 13.
That's true.
So let's go ahead. We're going to jump right into it. Week 13 review. Our first matchup from Week 13 is... It is Scorp versus Bryan.
Scorp versus Bryan.
So we had an original projection of 122 for the Scorpion King. We had an original projection of 104 for Victim of the System. The final, 116-76, Scorpion King.
Wait for it.
Wait for it. So Scorpion King was led by Cleveland's defense with a solid 34 against Houston.
The offense didn't score a touchdown.
Though the offense is going to be really bad this week. If you thought last week was bad, wait for this week.
Wait for this episode of the Cosby.
Because they're missing their top two receivers this week.
Yeah.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Cleveland's defense, 2 defensive touchdowns. A special
One
teams
Donovan
touchdown.
Peoples-Jones return touchdown.
And they only allowed 14 points.
Did they allow?
Good point, Jake. They also
on here it says points allowed 7-13, so that's why I'm a little. Was one of their touchdowns
I don't know.
special teams or defense?
Well, that wouldn't make sense because it would have to be in a pick six or a fumble recovery because defense special teams that would.
yeah,
Especially
I'm not
touchdown
quite sure.
would count against them.
Nobody watches Cleveland and Houston games, so
I watched. I
we won't be able to find
I
out.
said, "Is Amari Cooper on the field?"
Was he?
Yeah, he just.
Oh.
He was out there. He was out there.
Couldn't find him. Yeah, they had 2 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 defensive touchdowns, and a special teams touchdown, and that gives you 34. Let's see. Scorp also had Mahomes go for 21 in a loss to Cincinnati.
That was a bad game for him to still put up 20 plus.
I'm surprised they didn't go for it at the very end of the game, or not very end of the game, but that last possession.
It was like 3
4th
minutes
and
ago.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Cincinnati gets the ball and essentially just ices it out.
What were they
Yeah,
at when they
Mahomes.
went for it? Was a couple of years ago. I think it was Chad Henne came in because Mahomes.
Yeah.
got hurt
Oh,
or
that was in the
something.
playoffs, son. Playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs.
It was against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Chad Henne came in.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was a heck of a game.
Oh, he's been in for what? 2 snaps, 4th and 5 or whatever it was. Let's just get him.
Freaking loved it, dude.
Love it.
Way to gamble on
I
your
wouldn't
guy.
know.
I don't know if
That
Chad
wasn't
Henne's
your
your
guy.
guy.
That was gamble on your guy's backup.
That dude's been sitting there just prepping for what?
Give me the chance.
When's
coach.
the
Had
last
a game
time?
this big since Michigan, Ohio State.
Throw it
Which
back.
one did he go to, JT?
Oh, Chad Henne.
Come on.
He went to
on.
Michigan.
Attaboy.
Yeah!
I don't know. You had a 50-50 chance. You
I'll
didn't
take
have
it.
a-
1 for 1. Dalvin Cook with 15.3 and Rashad White with 13.9. Those are your leading scores for the Scorpion King.
Who's Dalvin Cook related to?
James Cook, as we learned in last week's episode. Might start him now.
What's
They're
the relation?
related.
You didn't know they were?
No clue, man.
I was watching that Buffalo game and I saw James Cook get a carry and I was cracking up. I was like, dude, he does kind of look like that Dalvin Cook.
That's what I said last week. I said, you know what I realized? And they, just, okay, well, what you got? I'm like, James Cook, he kind of seems like a smaller, younger, maybe slightly faster Dalvin Cook. And they both looked at me like I was stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think that's pretty
No,
spot on.
Yeah, it was a great
We
analysis.
told him that he was spot on because
It
they
is
were.
spot on analysis because you're oblivious to that whole thing.
It's
of
'cause
them actually
and
being
then they said, how do you not know they're related? Well, I mean, I got Tyreek Hill and Taysom Hill. They got the same last name. They ain't related.
How do you
We
know?
know of. James Cook, Dalvin Cook, how am I supposed to know?
Adoption's real.
I mean, nobody's okay. Yeah. For victim of the system, he was led by Justin Herbert with 20. Still underperformed his projection. And DeAndre Swift.
Welcome back.
Well, hey, it's been a long road to get back to that 19.1.
I think didn't he out carry or out touch
Jamal?
Yeah,
for
he
like the
did.
first times in week 1 maybe?
Yeah, week 1. This past game is his best game since week 1.
Yeah.
He had 25 in week 1. He had 19.1 in week 13.
And those were the only 2 double-digit scores for Bryan.
Yeah,
That's not
Man,
a
it
good
was
recipe.
bad.
Fryermuth had a good game, but if he's coming up as your 3rd best player on the week, that's not a good week.
If my tight end got me 9.1, I'm excited. But
It would have been
That's-
probably one of the highest.
I think he finished like 3rd or 4th in the week without a touchdown.
Good week. Yeah, receivers really let him down. Olave, Zay Jones, Elijah Moore combined for 12, 13 points.
Probably.
Then Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry was never really going to see the ball after that game script. Yeah.
Especially with Philly making a concerted effort to just remind Tennessee how stupid the trade was.
And then they fired their
They fired their
GM.
GM. Did you see the touchdown? I know we're not on his matchup, but the touchdown celebration by A.J. Brown.
Which one?
He was.
What?
It was the goalpost.
Yes.
And he's spanking it with his towel, and then he hugged it, saying, "Hey, I'm doing this because I love you." And he was spanking it, basically showing that he was their daddy. It was pretty funny.
Well, he had 3 touchdowns. One of them just got called back.
Yeah.
And then they, like we said, they
Very
immediately
next
went
play.
back to
Yeah,
him.
very next play.
And he just
He bulldozed that
Yeah,
corner.
dude.
Like, he just ran through that.
That
man.
corner fell hard for that
Yeah.
little jab out to the.
Can you
out to
imagine
the,
being a corner
side.
at practice at Ole Miss when you got DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown?
Or in Alabama ever?
Yeah.
I'm talking about
Or
like
Ohio
those dudes
State.
are like monster,
I
like
know.
physical freaks,
Yeah.
like jacked and fast. But
They went-
Alabama, they're just skilled. They're just leaving them breaking
I
out.
know A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf went to the same school.
At the same time.
Damn.
They
Then it won a
came out
national
in the same-
championship. Who was their quarterback?
Well, their offensive coordinator was Logano. I think their quarterback their final year was Chad Kelly, right?
I don't know if it was their last year, but yeah, Chad Kelly.
Chad
was
Kelly
there
was there.
Nah, they should have upgraded.
to his what uncle?
Anybody.
Do you know who his uncle is? Famous NFL quarterback.
Joe Kelly.
No, he was a reliever for the Red Sox.
I knew I was close, though. Professional athlete. Kelly. Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly.
There we go.
Yeah,
Not
it is.
Joe.
There we go.
Honestly, I was thinking Chad Pennington, but I'm like, oh no, that's not how this works. They gotta have this. If they have the same last name, apparently they're related. So
They're more likely to be, at least. Especially for the
Other
look
than
of
his
them.
first name.
well, you never know. Not a whole lot left on either bench either. Miami was the only double-digit scorer. Miami's defense with 10. Outside of that, Bryan, you started.
Conklin. Bryan didn't really have much to work. I was surprised that Judy played, though. I didn't think Judy was supposed to play.
Judy wasn't supposed to play, and then Tyler Boyd, he had 4 receptions for 60 yards, but I
And a
mean, with
big
Jamar
touchdown
Chase coming
drop,
back,
didn't he?
yeah,
Did he drop a
Holy
touchdown?
cow, it was right in his lap. It's
So
the easiest one he'd ever have.
tough sledding for old Rob.
Which I mean, we talked about it in the matchup preview. Like his lineup this week was not
It
not a
wasn't
great
ideal.
setup.
No, it wasn't. And then, but he will get Mike Williams back. He gets DJ Moore.
Raheem Mostert wasn't supposed to play,
Right.
And he should, but I think he's fully healthy this week. So Bryan's got better
Damian
days.
Harris
ahead.
did. He does. He has
He
better
just had a
days.
rough week.
Tough
I've
week.
seen better days.
All right, so that takes the Scorpion King to 7-6 and now in 4th place, and it takes victim of the system Bryan Roberts to 6-7 and in 7th. All right, our second matchup is Andrew versus Michael.
Ooh.
All right, so we had an original projection for Smith-Schuster and the Jujus of 108. We had an original projection for the league versus me, Michael Smith, of 110. The final, 98-77. Smith-Schuster and the Jujus.
Shiesties.
The receiver game really let you down this week, Mike. Because
Oh,
you had
buddy.
combined 9.2.
9.2 points.
Combined.
Gabe Davis got 8.5 of that.
Yeah, and so 6 of those points came off. Hold on. Time out.
Go back.
No, I want to point. I guess I want to point this out. From 3 receivers, obviously Courtney Sutton doesn't have anything,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but you had 3 combined receptions from your 3 starting receivers.
Now, technically,
That's tough week.
Yeah,
technically,
Yeah, I know DK
his
Metcalf.
wide receiver 1 was in his flex
Yeah,
spot,
DK
so
Metcalf looked really good.
technically.
And I thought, when he got hurt earlier in the season, they were like, "Oh, he's gonna be out for a while," and then
Yeah.
he
He
played the next
miraculously-
game.
Right,
That's
comes
what
back
I went and he took
freaking
Marquise
great.
Goodwin for like
They were
$11
talking
because
about-
I was like, man, he might be going IR with an ankle injury, and like that dude came in and got some opportunity, and they're like, oh, he'll play this week. I'm like, why does he have to be a freak of
Yet again,
nature?
Yeah.
Freak of nature.
Oh yeah, he's been ever since then. He's been double digits every single week. So I mean, apparently, again, either
Who's that?
DK.
What week did he get hurt?
I think he got hurt it's either week 6 or 7
Okay.
because he exited the game.
Yeah, he got 2 catches.
And
or
so
2
that's what I'm
targets
thinking
against the
it's-
Chargers. I think it was.
That's
that
what I'm
game.
thinking. It's that game, week 7, and since then, 14.5, 12.2, 10.10 bye, 14.5, 22.7. So you dodged,
take it.
you dodged a huge bullet, and then he comes back and
After
ends up
2
being a
weeks,
stud.
we're like, man, DK's really involved, but Geno just can't push the ball downfield because it was like 36 yards week 1, 35 yards week 2. Like, is this going to be a bunch of targets, bunch of catches, absolutely no yards? And then after that, like, oh, we can just throw the ball downfield. Geno's got
Yeah.
long enough arm, and DK's big enough.
And Tyler Lockett's been really good.
Yeah,
So, I
they're
mean,
both been very
You know what
good.
this looks like?
Tell me.
The offense they've been running for like the last 7 or 8 years.
But there's always been 2 viable receivers.
Yeah, like there was a stretch where it was basically Doug Baldwin
Yeah.
and nobody else. But since DK and Lockett have been there, this is what they've done every year.
Yep.
With Wilson, we're like, oh man, Wilson just makes the best
Oh,
out of the
Wilson's so
situation.
good,
Wilson's
man.
so great, man. Like he just, what's his name? Pete Carroll's so conservative and all this stuff like that, and he's just holding Russ back, and he let Russ cook, and then
You see what happens when you let
Yeah.
him cook, man.
He burns stuff.
Burns. A lot of burn. DK Metcalf was your leading scorer there, Mike. Followed by Trevor Lawrence with 18, and then Ramondre Stevenson with 10.
I've watched a lot of Buffalo games, as you boys probably can surmise, but Ramondre Stevenson looks so good, but that offensive play calling in New England,
Yeah.
baffling. I don't
Tell me about
understand it. Like they'll throw it 4 to 5 yards down the field at the most, and then they'll run Stevenson deep sometimes, and I don't understand. I was like, give him
Like
those
a
little
wheel
dumb balls.
routes?
Yeah, sometimes they'll line him up in
Yeah,
the
they'll line
slot.
him up.
Like, what are you
Oh,
doing?
okay.
Just give him the ball.
I haven't watched, dude. I don't think I've watched one New England game this
Like
entire
the
year.
play calling for me doesn't make
It's
sense.
boring.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
their offense is not.
I mean, when you got a defensive coordinator as your offensive play caller, probably not a
Probably
great
not a little
idea.
too good.
Yeah.
But Stevenson, just watching though, he's so talented. It's ridiculous.
To the Smith-Schuster, the Juju side of the ball. He had a couple high scores, but he also, again, had some duds as well. He had top scores, Christian McCaffrey, 24.6, followed by Dallas's defense with 24. Devontae Smith with 18, but he was hurting too with Jeff Wilson with 0.3.
Jimmy G.
Jimmy G getting hurt, exiting early with 2.2.
Michael, how close was that matchup before the Sunday night game?
Oh, it was projected 88 to 88.
Really?
So I thought I had a chance. I was like, okay, I got Kamar, he's got Dallas's D. Like as long as they don't go off.
You had Kamar and Schultz, and I think he had Dallas' D, and I was
Yeah.
like, Michael should have had this in the bag. I might get another.
I was like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I'll at least have a chance. And then I woke up Monday morning and saw Dallas's D, and I was like, yeah.
Because that game was what? 19
It was
to 16 or something?
19 to 16 going into the
Something
fourth.
quarter.
They just went off.
54 to 19.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
that was-
Got bad fast.
Real fast.
Jeff Saturday knows what he's. Never mind.
No.
No, it's not.
Didn't know what to do when things got tough.
Yeah, so just
He got
a
going.
weird week for Andrew. Again, obviously the quarterback situation hurt him.
Jeff Wilson getting hurt early too didn't help.
Obviously that hurts as
Which
well.
will help with Bryan that we talked about a while ago. With,
But Wilson, I think, is supposed to
Be
play
back.
this
Back
week.
this week, yeah.
man, I always feel like that's kind of was a Jeff Wilson issue, even when he was in San Fran.
Any
It was
running
like
back that leaves San
anytime
Fran
they had
besides
a
And
top,
Mostert.
they had a running back get hurt. They're like, Jeff Wilson's the guy. Like they love this guy out here, and he would go a game or so, and then he was out for 4 weeks. It's like, well, so much for the Jeff Wilson
Well, I
show you.
was so worried about CMC going to San Francisco. I was like,
Every running back gets
he's a
hurt.
running back. He's been
beat up past 3
He's
years.
been injured the past couple of years. Like San Fran, their running backs always get hurt. Well, don't go there.
Well, they're also they're not giving him like a huge workload either. Like he's catching some balls out of the backfield, but he's
Right.
not
Yeah,
getting like 15,
McCaffrey
20
had 80
carries.
receiving yards and 66 rushing yards.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, he did better as a receiver than he did.
He's only getting like around 12 carries a game.
And his
They're
touchdown
treating him
receiving.
like Sean Payton used to treat Kamara.
Yeah.
Like almost less is more, but he's just super effective with every touch he gets.
Or you just look at it and say he's such a dynamic player. Just give him the ball. Like doesn't matter how you get it to him.
20 touches, and
like,
it don't matter
sometimes
how you
it's
get
safer
it,
to get on the ball in space other than asking him to find the space. Like,
But I think that's how they treat Debo already. So
Yeah.
it's like you've got 2 of those guys.
Yeah.
So maybe just lower the workload on both of them to keep them both
and
healthy.
maybe
'Cause
that's a big
Wow.
point of
Because
emphasis.
Debo broke down at the end of the year last year going into
He
the
did.
playoffs.
Well, they're going to figure out something. Without Jimmy G,
You don't
not
trust
saying Jimmy G's been like
You don't trust
absolutely
Purdy,
phenomenal.
Pretty boy Rick?
The verdict is still to be determined.
You know who he was the quarterback for, right? Brees
Baylor.
Hall.
Oh, who?
He went to school with Brees Hall.
Iowa State.
Assist.
Indeed. Huh?
Assist.
Assist.
It means he told
Oh,
you.
I got it.
He had the ball and you scored.
I got it. All right, so that takes Miss Houston the Jujus to 4-9 and in 8th place, and it takes the league versus me, Michael Smith, to 7-6 and in 5th. All right, for our third matchup from Week 13, we had Broach versus Jake.
Sorry, Broach.
Yeah, Ryan let you down here, Broach. So we had newly named. I'm gonna go with the name from last week. The Line.
The line. Nobody beats the line.
The Line with a road projection of 123. We had Turd Sandwiches, which is a
Member of the
constant name, and a member of the Line,
A line member.
the original Line.
Yeah.
Whose line is it anyway?
Good quote.
Yeah, that's pretty good. The original projection of 113, the final 106 to 135. Now, Ryan, what did you say would happen if Broach changed his name to the
My
Line?
bold prediction was if Broach changed his team name to the line, Jake would not score 100 points.
And you know,
But what I didn't
for a second,
I didn't take into account when we played against the line, everybody else besides you three, Jake was a member of the line.
Yeah.
Member of
But
the
how
Line.
can the line beat a member of the line? Because without Jake, is the line really the line?
Well,
Without
that's not
JT,
right.
is the line really the line?
It's not.
Without the mom child.
often
Broach.
imitated, never
Yeah,
duplicated.
never. And the other thing that I started thinking about was the line was very
think
effective
anybody
in
else
half-court basketball. But if you applied it to football and you just stood in a straight line, it would not be very effective because
That would be
everyone
like
just
that.
throw it
Who
over
was
the
the
top.
defensive play?
It's kind of like what Devontae Adams did to your
Was it
Chargers all game.
The Chargers. But wasn't it the Saints that did like an all-out blitz and somebody just threw the ball over top like 2 or 3 years ago, where the defensive coordinator took over and they had the game won?
Oh,
And they all-out blitzed. I think the Jets, and they just threw it over the top and beat them.
I
Yeah,
don't
that was
remember
that was during like the Jet debacle. I think it was during Adam Gase's time.
Yeah.
up
the
there.
Jet debacle. When is there not a Jet debacle?
They're not that bad. Anymore.
Nah, they're really not.
They crash all the time.
They're really not. They are. Yeah. Okay. You got a point. All right. So 4 turd sandwiches led by Devontae Adams at 33. Went against Ryan's Chargers.
I did say that I think he would have 50% of the targets. I think he was like around 40, and you just can't cover him.
Nah, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, 8 receptions.
The thing that holds him back more than Derek Carr and Josh McDaniels are the only 2 people
Stone
that
the
stop.
effing ball.
And that cameraman.
From there, Jake, you had 2 players tied at 17.8. That of Keenan Allen, glad to have him back, and Tua Tagovailoa with 17.8.
Yeah, he was a little bit of a disappointment this week.
Especially after that opening play.
Yeah, I was like, holy
It's
cow,
like, oh,
he's gonna
man.
light it up. He didn't even throw it to one of his big receivers. He threw it to I don't even remember
Sherfield.
who.
Yeah, he's been. Well, he's
I know
he's actually been pretty good
sneaky.
over the past like 4 weeks.
I think they did that because that was a revenge game, because Sherfield used to be a 49er.
That's
Came
right.
over to
That's
McDaniels. I
right.
think McDaniels was like, hey, we're going to draw something up.
That
Watch
was
this, guys.
which we talked about that last week. Again, like as good as Miami's been playing, San Francisco defense is really good.
Probably the
number
best in the league
2
right now.
Number 2, again, like how many players and coaches do you have from San Fran
It's
to now
San
in
Fran
Miami?
beast, man.
You
It
know what I
really
mean?
is.
So
He had 3 turnovers, 2 picks, and a fumble late in the game, and those hurt his overall score because
Right,
if not, he would have
dude.
been what, like 6-8 points higher.
yeah,
something
that's
like
his
that.
first interception since week 4.
Yeah.
So I see better days coming for Tua and Miami.
Oh yeah.
From there, Jake, you had Jamar Chase come back with 13.2,
Yeah.
7 receptions, 97 yards. Looked good too.
Yeah,
they were
had
trying
a
to give him the
couple
ball.
big plays, and like we talked about
Yeah.
earlier, I think that's his biggest trait is you get him the ball, he can make an average play into an exceptional play. Like he has big play potential every time he touches it.
What was his target? He only had 8 targets?
Yes,
7 or
the
7?
only one that wasn't a catch was the one me and Mike were talking about before the pod where
That was stupid.
yeah, like maybe one of the best catches of the Bengals season. He one-handed it while spinning backwards, but his foot came out of bounds.
He's a good enough receiver that he made Justin Jefferson a number 2 wide receiver in college.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
It's insane.
Yeah. School.
LSU.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Scotty's on fire. Who is their quarterback?
Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah!
number 3 wide receiver.
Do y'all know?
I don't.
Terrence Marshall Jr.
Oh, it is Terrence
Oh,
Marshall.
okay.
Yep.
Running back was.
LSU. Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
There you go.
Oh, man!
Look at
Dude,
that.
I'm feeling it today. Keep them going. Hold on, pause. Darius Slayton with 12. Darius Slayton with 12. Jay, we talked about Darius Slayton a couple weeks ago. I said, man, I think you need to pick him up.
Yes.
And since you did, dude, he's their number 1 receiver.
Yes.
Who did you tell somebody to pick up that they didn't and they lost? Broach,
Tyler
right?
Boyd.
Was it
Yep.
Broach?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Darius Slayton has been pretty good.
Really,
He's
the only
kind of
week
a,
that he hadn't been double digits since then. It
was
not
against
point
Dallas.
and then the Dallas game, which was a bad matchup, and he had the flu the whole week.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even practice from Wednesday until game day, and they had him as questionable. So,
But he's been over 63 yards in all of his past 5
Yeah.
games. Again, like he scores a touchdown.
He's the only receiver they got.
He is.
and he's a big play guy as well.
Mhm.
That's another thing that I like about him. Is
Yeah, I like Slayton a lot.
one of his catches was like 45 yards or something like that. Like he can make normal play into a big play.
I prefer his brother Steve, but he's pretty good.
Steve Slayton.
They're not related. The spelling's completely different.
Oh, so they have to be okay. They have to be spelled the same. I got you. And Jake, you had some good guys on your bench too. With Cole Kmet, I know he scored less than Gerald Everett, just barely. But Cole Kmet with 10, Michael Gallup with 16, Cam Akers with 18. I see what you're doing there. You've been building. You took some hits early on, but you've been building. I've been watching.
2 IR spot guys are supposed to come back this week too, I believe.
I've been
I
watching.
don't know
You.
what I'm going to do then.
Yeah.
So I don't know. No, Tony's out.
He's out this week.
Yeah,
Tony is out this week?
Yeah, they announced Tony's out. They said that he was limited all week, but Andy Reid said
Okay,
that
I saw he come.
they
I saw
might
he come back. to
make sure
practice. I
he's
haven't looked.
healthy for playoffs, so they're going to not
But
push
would
him
you
back.
roll the dice and actually put him in?
No, I would not.
No, he's never going to take out his top 3 receivers if they're healthy. And then honestly,
I like
with
Slayton's
Slayton,
upside more than his.
yeah,
anyways.
with Slayton or Gallup, really.
Yeah.
So looking at the other side of the ball for Jay Broach, Broach was hurt by Lamar Jackson,
yeah.
who was also hurt.
Yes.
By an injury.
Yep, 1.3 exited first quarter? Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Early exit. It was going to be a tough matchup against Denver anyway, but still Lamar does have a particular skill set.
Yeah.
That, yeah.
A very particular set of skills.
Yeah, but Broach's
the quarterbacks.
yeah. Broach's highest score, AJ Brown, 27.9,
He was a stud.
with 8 receptions, 119 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Revenge game.
It was a personal game script from the beginning because I don't think Philly ever was worried about beating Tennessee. But then A.J. Brown must have went to them and said, make sure they regret what they did. Because they went after them early with him. It wasn't like they were like slowly working him in. They're like, no, we're going to force feed this guy all game. So it was definitely a game script for A.J. Brown.
And even when they got up, it's not like they were just going to running the ball.
No,
Like
they were still throwing it to him.
Yeah, they were wanting to prove a point. So 27 from
Did
A.J.
he
Brown.
score 5 touchdowns? Well, I don't know. We can try.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Chuck it to him, see what happens.
Second lead scorer for Jay Broach, Ezekiel Elliott, who, again, since returning from injury, has been solid.
Looks good.
Very solid. 17.2, 16.6.
What was that full trade between y'all, Jake?
Him and Kirk. So, yeah, he
And what did you
Zeke
get
out-
besides Jonathan Taylor? Anything?
No, he just got Jonathan
just got
Taylor.
JT.
And both of them outscored Jonathan Taylor this week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just call him a spade a spade.
Yes.
I was just asking for context and
Yes.
catching people back up.
Yes.
And then some, some
I
decent.
mean, I made a bad trade already, so don't feel bad.
I still like it moving forward. I like JT's kind of matchups and
Sure.
stuff like that. But Zeke has kept the coach's trust, and he still gets so many
And the
in the
others'
red
trust.
zone. But, I mean, it also helps that they're scoring 54 points, so everybody gets an opportunity to score. Because Tony Pollard had 23. I see D. Lamb went the heck off, too. It wasn't like the offense
Michael
was
Gallup.
struggling. Yeah.
Everybody got
Like,
fed.
everybody got a little bit
Yeah,
of
you score
fix.
54 points. There's going to
A
be.
lot of fantasy managers are going to be excited if they got some Dallas on their team.
I agree. Christian Kirk with 13, Nico Collins with 11, Devin Singletary with 11, Seattle with 12. Not a bad week. Again, just really hurt by Lamar. And again, Jake scored 135.
If you give Lamar like an average 20, that puts. I mean, he still lost some matchups. But 126 is a very respectable number.
Yeah. And again, he had Jahan Dotson on the bench with 13.9.
But you
doesn't really help him much.
Daniel Jones.
Even Daniel Jones putting Daniel Jones in again, like over Lamar, would have made it a little closer, but Jake still comes out with the victory. So that takes.
You needed Nick Chubb. We didn't talk about it. Nick Chubb going against the worst rush defense in the league.
Yeah, what a surprise that was.
And he just only gets 80 yards. I expected him to score a couple times.
He was outscored by Kareem Hunt.
Yeah. That offense just looked.
I mean, because
disjointed.
Chubb's only going to get one thing. If you look at his stats, it was 80 rushing yards. That's why he has 8 points. Like, there's no receptions, no targets, no nothing. And then Kareem Hunt, 56 rushing, 18 receiving yards on 2 receptions. I still think the game script moving forward, if they're really going to make Deshaun Watson the guy, you're going to see a little bit more Kareem Hunt in there just because he allows for a check down guy to Watson. So, I don't know, man. I feel like Chubb was so valuable early on in the year because they were going to establish the run. They were going to. I mean, like, that's what their offense was built around. But now that they got their highest paid quarterback in the league back, and they want to make sure it doesn't look like a stupid trade / signing.
It is.
It is a stupid.
I know,
when you sign him for that much money, and it's all guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed. But we've all talked about it before. Is like management is going to tell coaching staff like he has to have the ball.
I agree.
We don't want to look stupid.
Man.
So, what kind of impact does that have on Chubb moving forward?
It
like,
could
do you think that his stats could take a hit, especially touchdowns, because they just want Watson to get something, like to make it look better.
So does Watson.
I can't believe it. I like it. All right, so that takes, formerly known as The Line, Jay Broach to 3-10 and in 9th place. We'll have a little bit to talk about a little bit later.
We'll talk about you later.
And that takes Turbo Sandwiches of Jake Ruth to 6-7 and in 6th place.
All right.
To our 4th matchup from Week 13, we had JT versus Tyler.
Good Lord.
What a week. Oh. Thought I had a good week.
Sorry about it. Tyler, sorry about it.
That was me. So we had the Cult of Personality with a original projection of 130. We had Autonomy is American with a original projection of 123. The final, 172 to 100.
Way to go, Baltimore. Way to fail JT. You couldn't get one more point, so you had all double digits.
I know. I was looking at that after. I was like, man, 1 point.
One point away.
And I had completely double digits.
You couldn't have picked off Russell Wilson. I know he threw at least one into their hands. They had to drop.
Or sacking. So, Code of Personality led by Jalen Hurts with a 40 spot.
Him and AJ look really good together.
Yeah. Dude, Jalen Hurts, I mean, obviously I drafted Jalen Hurts like pretty early, I guess.
You had the gut feeling that this was his breakout year with the weapons.
But I didn't know he was going to be as good as he is. I mean, I like passing-wise.
You knew that he had potential, but you didn't see the potential being as high as what he's shown this year.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
they didn't let him throw the ball last year, but he had nobody to throw to.
Questioning whether he should even be the starting quarterback, and they're like, he has upside, but there's a reason why he was benched in college.
Didn't they bench him like week 17 or 18
last
last year? Didn't they bench him like week 17 or 18 last year? Put in like that third string guy, or was that 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
I think it was yeah.
But
like they brought him in halfway through the year, and then like, hey, this guy jump-started the offense, and they put a third-string guy in. It was terrible.
But there's one thing like Nick Saban always said about Jalen Hurts, and he said it might have been the best that he's ever coached, is a leader within a locker room and how much players respected and like loved him. I remember even after he had set that next year, and I think he came in when Tua got hurt and kind of led him to the national championship. And he says, I'm more happy for Jalen, not because he got the plays, just because of the character of man that he is. Like, every day showing up to work and being a great teammate, even though he got benched as a national championship quarterback the year before.
Right.
And I don't know. I feel like that's a big thing that a lot of people don't take into consideration, because look at Zach Wilson. Like, his teammates hate him. Yeah. Like, they literally,
they do.
Matt White got named the starter, they wore shirts with Matt White on it. And it was basically like, F you, Zach Wilson. Like, we don't like you.
Yeah, they do not like Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, your
Zach
team.
Wilson, Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
But you know how they do like
Rebel Wilson.
You know how they do like in New York? Garrett Wilson! Yeah! Finally! I put him in my lineup and he did well.
Yeah.
How much money is he worth?
$100 man.
$200. We only spent $100.
Yeah, so Jalen Hurts with 40, Tyreek Hill with 25, Tony Pollard with 23, Garrett Wilson with 20, Dave Montgomery with 14. You may keep going.
I think it's illegal. I think it's illegal. You started 2 quarterbacks in the same lineup.
Taysom Hill.
Yeah, that's bullcrap.
Yeah,
Not an ultimate flex league.
I don't like this. Isn't super flex.
When Rand City picked him up like week 2 or 3, I was like, man, that could be a really good start, just depending on
The Joe Webb scenario.
Yeah. Now they're not really using him all that much.
No.
Andrew's listening right now, like, F y'all guys, because when I had him, all you did was talk junk about him.
All you did was criticize.
And now JT has him, you're like, wow, what a pick. You're so smart, JT. Got to know when to play him.
So for Tyler, led by Dak Prescott with 22. Some solid performances from his receivers. CeeDee Lamb with 17.9. Justin Jefferson with 15. Chris Godwin with 10. Then Damian Pierce is only other double-digit scorer with 11.
Running game let him down, man. It looked like ETN was really kind of building towards that, like, almost consistent 15-plus running back performance. Like, I don't know. He looked like what earlier in the season Breece Hall was kind of building towards. Yeah. Like, really becoming that bell cow, pretty reliable back.
Giving him the ball a lot.
An RB1 in fantasy lineups. And I know he got hurt, but he's just looked to be struggling since then.
I'm still trying to figure out why Tyler has left Lockett on the bench.
I don't know, dude. Lockett's got
like
what?
5 straight weeks, 6 straight weeks.
Yeah, he had 23 this week. He scored in 5 straight weeks.
Yeah. Since week 8, he's scored every game.
And in his past 8 weeks, he has 7 touchdowns. Going back to week 5.
Yeah. I don't get it, man. He would be locked into my flex every week. Because the strength of his lineup is his wide receivers.
Yeah. I agree,
and
especially with Godwin getting healthy.
But up until the past couple weeks, like, Lockett's been better than Godwin overall.
He don't know how to use Lockett because he hasn't had him on his team all year, and he doesn't know his.
Well, he didn't really get unlocked till you let him go.
Yeah.
For Michael Carter.
Yeah. That's what Jake makes stupid trades, like trade for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Oh,
we're gonna go to school.
That trade almost happened.
I know.
What?
If Devontae Adams would not have punched or pushed that cameraman, me and Jake that Saturday night before that Sunday night game or a Monday night game had agreed Michael Pittman and Clyde Edwards-Helaire for Devontae straight up. It was right after the Breece Hall injury. And Devontae Adams pushed that cameraman. I thought he might get suspended, so I rescinded the trade. And then, like, a week later happened. A week later it happens. Clyde Edwards-Helaire got, like, I don't know, 2 carries, 3 carries, and Jake's like, I don't know if I can do it anymore. I was like, all right, that's fine. I had it.
Man, you would have unloaded 2 guys.
I had it.
Yeah, that would have.
Like, completely unloaded.
Yeah.
Man, if I could have Devontae Adams in my lineup, I wouldn't be losing anything because I can't play Clyde Edwards-Helaire because he's hurt and he's not on my team anymore. And Michael Pittman's been like a flex. So.
If that.
Devontae Adams in my flex would not be bad.
No.
I agree. All right, so that takes Cold Personality to 9-4 and in 3rd place, and it drops Tommy as American to 2-11 and officially eliminated from the playoffs.
You hate to see it happen.
Hate to see it happen. Because, again, we talked about this earlier. Tyler is, I think, 5th in points 4.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler's had a good team. We've said it all the time. Tyler's had a good team. It's just he can't.
5th in points 4 and the most points against by like
I think
180.
I'm going to go look, see what it is. People on the screen can see it. What is it?
Yeah, it's like 170 something. 179, I believe. I can't do math that good.
I don't know. It sounded good to me.
But yeah, I mean, he's had some terrible luck. You know, fantasy football, you can say what you want.
All right, okay. If you take points against as if that was a team in our league, they'd be the 2nd highest scoring team in the league, right behind Jordon.
That sounded good. That sounded better.
Yeah,
that's tough, man. that's just
like you're
tough.
hitting on Tyler's team.
I like some guys, but trade deadline.
What?
Off his team, dummy.
That's not what you said.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
He's a grown man.
Okay. All right, so for our Week 13 matchup of the week, we had the number 1 seed.
Me. Not yet.
Dang it. Yeah, okay, let me back up. We had the number 2 seed.
Me.
There we go. Of the fantasy phenom. of the Fantasy Phenoms, Ryan Robertson. We had the number 1 seed.
Me.
No, okay.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Do it again.
Okay, we had the number 1 seed.
Not me.
The team with no name, Jordan Powell. Maybe, I wish I could go back and look, but maybe this might be the latest in the season 1v2 matchup. Now, obviously,
possible.
not a whole lot on the line other than just seeding. Both teams have locked up playoffs weeks in advance. But
me and Scorp played like week 13 or 14 last year.
so pretty similar.
Yeah.
Pretty similar. So we had an original projection for the number 2 seed Fantasy Phenoms of 130. We had an original projection for the number 1 seed, the team with no name, of 135. The final and newly crowned number 1 seed going into the last week of the regular season, me. Fantasy Phenoms 137 and team with no name 118.
Yay.
I'm your huckleberry.
Yes.
Ryan was led by Amon-Ra St. Brown 29.1.
Yeah, after a good call by Trogdon that he would have 2 receivers.
I just know when that guy's going to
All
score
right,
2
I'll say, I
touchdowns.
can tell you exactly the week that JT made a bold prediction, said he's going to score 2 touchdowns. This week and week 2.
Mm-hmm. I really wanted Amon-Ra St. Brown. Really wanted Amon-Ra St. Brown on the draft. He was my biggest breakout from last year in our last episode of the fantasy football season. Really liked him and still really like him.
Yeah.
Especially on my team.
Me
He's on
and
yours.
Trey
So,
talked about working on a trade right before the trade deadline, and that was who we wanted. And that was one of my buggy
Dude's a
buddies.
stud. You had Christian Watson, who has been electric with
Boogie, woogie, woogie.
with 22.9. Christian Watson over his past 4 games, man. Golly.
He wasn't having a great game. I mean, he had scored that receiving touchdown. Wasn't having a great game. They were running the clock out. They're like, you know what? When you keep the ball on the ground, just give it to him on the end of the round.
Take it to the house.
And nobody even touched him. He got all the way around the other corner. And just
I remember hearing a lot about him, like leading up to the draft.
Well, it was like him and Dobbs were back and forth at the beginning of the season within, like, at first they were like Watson wasn't picking up the playbook or something, and like that Rodgers didn't trust him like he did Dobbs. And it looked like Dobbs had kind of owned the rookie wide receiver role until he was injured.
got hurt.
Well, they talked about Watson being hurt most of training camp, so he wasn't getting on the field and getting the reps with Rodgers, and Dobbs was. And Romeo Dobbs was lighting it up in preseason and training camp, so like, hey, this might be the one that they thought Watson was going to be. But they were talking about Christian Watson should have been a first-round wide receiver.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't
I don't know.
wasn't selected in the first round.
He got selected, I think, 2nd overall pick in the 2nd round.
Oh,
so he was
so
a
pretty
pretty
close.
borderline first rounder, but come from a small school, but he's a
How do they
stud,
do the
man.
draft now? Because
Each team gets a pick.
no.
All right, first round is Thursday night.
That's just first round.
Yeah, first round's Thursday
Second
night.
and third?
Second and third rounds on Friday, and then 4 through 7 is on
Okay.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I was just curious.
But if you're sitting down, I mean, I've done it some, but watching the draft on
Sitting
a Saturday,
down or watching?
well, it's like there'll be like 7 picks, and they'll still be just talking to some random celebrity over here. So it's not like the first and second round.
No, I
stuff
got
to
you.
watch, but I'll do it occasionally. If I'm bored, I'll have it in the background. But yeah, Christian Watson was supposed to be. He's very tall, very fast.
Very
Hey,
fast.
this is like a stud wide receiver that you
looks
want to
really
have.
good.
Where do you go to college?
Christian Watson.
I'd be impressed.
Yeah.
Christian Watson went to. Y'all ready for this?
Oh, we're ready.
Christian Watson.
I would give you the state, but I'd give it away.
Okay.
All right, there is a
Sea Monsters.
There's
That's a good one.
I've been there. I've spent like 2 weeks there.
Iowa.
Dude,
I
that's
spent like 2 weeks
Wyoming.
there.
You said it in
Montana.
class.
Nathan.
North Dakota.
There it
There
is.
you go.
There you
He went to North Dakota State.
State.
though.
Ah!
Same school
Come on,
that
man.
2 quarterbacks that are in the league currently went to. Neither one of them started.
Dakota.
There's 2 quarterbacks in the league that both went to North Dakota
Both
State.
started the season as a starter, but neither one of them is currently starting.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good hit. Process.
Zach Wilson.
Went to BYU.
BYU.
Damn it. All right, I got this. I got
You had to shake your
North
cup.
Dakota State.
Yes.
Carson Wentz.
Yes.
Yes! That's a straight guess, son. Straight guess.
All right.
All right, Carson Wentz and
Chargers drafted Easton Stick out of North Dakota State. That doesn't count because he doesn't never start. But that's just that's who took over for Carson Wentz when he left. But this guy came in after him.
after Carson Wentz.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna scramble my brain a little bit.
He can scramble. He can run a little bit.
Yeah, he can.
He can scramble a little bit. He can run a little bit.
This might help you out.
It's cold enough.
Trey Lance.
There we go.
Trey Lance. I wouldn't have thought of Trey Lance. It's been so long since he was on a football field.
But he did start the season.
He did. You're right. Over Jimmy G. Man, whatever. Ryan, you also had Josh Allen with 20.9 and Stephon Diggs with 18.7. And P. Ryan with daggone 18.5.
Dude, he looked like a freaking man possessed.
He looks like he should be a starting running back.
Yeah,
He does.
He was like stiff arming everyone at Kansas.
I mean, when he got drafted, he was supposed to be like the next breakout guy for the Redskins.
Yep.
And then they turned into the football team and they turned into Commanders. It just never worked out.
I don't get out of there.
Yeah. I mean, 'cause like he was, I think if I'm not mistaken, he set the rushing record for a single game when he was at Oklahoma.
All right, good. I thought you was gonna ask me again.
No.
Oh man, this is getting tough.
A little let down by Kenneth Walker getting hurt early, especially as good as he's looked.
I mean, he had 3 carries for 36 yards. He was lighting them up.
12.0 yards per carry.
Yes, indeed.
Did that in my brain.
In your brain.
In my dome piece.
What's his status this week? Should we wait?
Jammed ankle hasn't practiced all week, so
You thinking a
they
little
said
AJ Dillon because he's looked really good last 2 weeks?
he's on a bye.
Oh.
My lineup.
Start him!
We'll talk about my lineup when we get to it, but it's struggle bus city right now. But we'll talk about it.
Ford.
No, they're saying
Yeah, something.
Kenneth Walker hasn't practiced all week. It's truly questionable, but I don't see him playing.
Hence the Q
Yeah,
It should be a D.
for D's nuts.
Got him.
For Jordano, led by Joe Burrow with 34. Terry McLaurin with 20.5, and Josh Jacobs continues on his hot streak of 20 points. And outside of that, some
He was hurt by both of his tight ends not playing well, and Jalen Waddle being in and out of that game.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. With, again, Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews and Jalen Waddle, if they do better, then Jordan may win.
Well, if Kenneth
That's
Walker
my
wasn't
analysis.
hurt, I might have won by more.
Okay, maybe.
And if Jacoby Brissett was still quarterback of the team instead of Cosby.
Yeah, that kind of does hurt Amari Cooper. You think?
I don't think it hurts him because he's still targeted more than anybody else, but just
The chemistry?
he hasn't played football in 700 days, I think is what they said.
Yep.
That'll do it, you know. You knock the rust off.
It's almost 2. It's more than 2
Or
years.
somebody else knock the rust off
Less
for
than 2
you.
years.
I don't know.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, I mean,
I would imagine it does hurt the chemistry
I
a
think
little bit.
Brissett and Cooper had a good thing going.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
You know,
Agreed. At home, especially.
Yes.
We learned that.
or a neutral site.
Or a neutral site. But not away.
Not away games.
Not away. Don't like each other.
Nope.
All right.
Long distance relationships never work.
So that takes the Fantasy Phenoms
That's me.
to 11-2 and now in first place. And it takes the team with no name, Jordan Powell, to 10-3 and currently in second place.
Take that, funky cat.
All right, Ryan, how do we do on picks from week 13?
Not too good.
Well, 4 of us went 3-2.
You asked me.
4 of us went 3-2.
All right, yeah.
Those 4 are yours truly, JT the Commish. It is Mr. Ruth,
Yes.
Coach Ruth. It is Big Rob, victim of the system.
Mr. Roberts.
And it is Trigger Mike, Michael Smith. All went 3-2. One at this table,
Is not a follower and blazed his own trail and ran into a wall. 2 and 3.
2-3.
You got a lot of walls this year.
Dude, I'm in a maze.
But he's in first place, so it's like
All right.
whatever.
So that takes this season to Bryan 45-20, still in first.
Yeah, no, it's
Killing it.
Michael and Jake at 40-25, tied for second.
pretty
JT in fourth place at 39-26.
Come
It's
on,
okay.
Cal. Come on,
And
Cal.
Ryan in fifth at barely over 500. I am starting to drown, need some arm flow.
First bold
33-22.
prediction of the week. Ryan drops below 500.
Dude,
I'm not typing that down.
He did a bold on the group.
He did a bold on picks that I don't take serious.
Yeah, I'm
You
putting.
better this week.
I take them very serious. Suck at them.
That's my first one. Coming out guns a-blazing. Ryan, under 500 for the first time. Also, well, maybe, I don't know.
I think I might have been under 500.
Yeah, let me flip back. Well, Michael went. That was last year. Never mind.
Going way
Too
back.
far.
Let's see.
History teacher over here.
Ryan was 2-3 to start off the season, so this will be the first time since week 1 because you ended up going to be in 5-5.
Like DeAndre Swift.
And then you
is
had a
the reverse.
9-6. Yeah, this will be the first time since week 1 that any of us sitting here have been under 500. Ryan, it's happening to you.
Sorry about it. I don't care.
All right, so to the waiver wire we go.
Wow, wrap up.
We had Geno Smith go to Jay Broach for $21.
The losing of Lamar. I do like the Geno pickup.
Yeah, I like the Geno pick up a lot
The
too.
way what we talked about with Lockett and
I mean, we were
DK
talking.
looking.
He had Geno, right? We were talking about like, should he start Geno
Yeah.
over Lamar when he had both of them?
Yeah. So Geno for 21 goes to Broach. Greg Dulcich
Dolch.
goes to Tyler for $12.
What a jerk!
Drake London
What a jerk!
goes to Scorp for $12. Why is Scorp a jerk? Let's hear this part.
I traded Cordell Patterson and George Kittle for Drake London and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I dropped Clyde Edwards-Helaire and I dropped Drake London. One of them sucks and the other one's back on Scorp's team.
So what did this trade really amount to?
I don't
Trim the fat. You know what? I gave everybody else confidence.
You gifted Scorp George
It
Kittle.
looked like such a good, impactful trade when it happened.
Clyde
And
Edwards-Helaire was
now,
a top 10 running
is
back
Scorp
when that
even
trade
really
happened.
playing any of them? 'Cause,
Kittle.
He
Yeah,
plays
so
Kittle.
He
but Kittle
started
hasn't been
Patterson
good.
once.
Yeah.
Like, it's been just basically a wash, but at least the players he's got are still on his roster.
But I mean,
Yeah.
when the trade happened, we're looking at it from starters, like multiple starters in it, to Kittle, and it's not even like Kittle's blazing the
No,
world.
he's not.
I don't know. I looked at it and I saw CEH and I said, "Oh, that guy's
That's
gonna
nothing
fall
I
off."
want a part of.
But the trade that I had offered at that time that didn't get accepted because Andrew didn't see it was those same two players for J.K. Dobbins and Deebo Samuel, which Deebo hasn't been great this year and J.K.'s been hurt. So either way, that wasn't
Still better.
We're
Still,
hoping,
yeah,
we're
still,
hoping
still
for a
have,
return of J.K.
I'd still have Deebo Samuel on my roster.
better
Yeah,
get
it's-
ready.
It ended up being a terrible trade altogether.
He's going to own that backfield because apparently all the other running backs suck.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
That's true. Las Vegas DST goes to Broach for $4. Ryan picks up Hunter Henry for $2. And Scorp grabs a couple defenses, Minnesota and Seattle, for $1 apiece.
Yes.
And that's your waiver wire.
Well, wow.
Hey, we didn't talk about it because no money was spent on it. And Aaron Rodgers back on Andrew's team.
Hey!
Right where he belongs.
The world is right again.
where he belongs. I mean, that's
Yeah, I
not
knew
the-
something hadn't felt right.
Me and him just kind of had a triangle of love with Aaron Rodgers.
Y'all were playing pickleball with him. Just,
Some
I
kind
gave him,
of
gave him back. It's kind of like me and Cam Akers. He just finds his
He
way.
finds his
back.
way back home.
speaking of that, I
Like-
want to see,
like
I see
Homer
Ransdale
Bound.
playing
Yes.
pickleball.
You want to see what?
I don't see Ransdale playing pickleball. I just feel like that'd be fun.
I feel like that's something he might be good at.
Yeah.
I think
he
so,
would be
too.
like
Yeah.
incredible at it.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be something he'd
He's
be
got
good
some
at.
long arms. He can do it.
He
Yeah.
does.
No! Can't play my Crocs!
But
Or can you?
That's kind of how I imagine that. But I do think he'd probably be good at it. He's pretty. I mean, he's solid at ping pong.
Dude, he
I mean, it's
is.
like bigger ping pong.
he's coordinating.
Is it? What would it be between ping pong and tennis? Like that's what pickleball is.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good.
I mean,
It's like plastic racket. It's plastic rackets and almost wiffle balls. It's weird, but it's.
I've never
yeah.
played. I've seen people playing
Yeah.
in Creekside, but I've never played. Anyways, last thing. How we doing bowl predictions?
Not too bad, actually.
That's right, boys.
Oh, yeah.
stepped our
We
game
made a
up.
lot of them.
Listen to this.
Jake, 3 for 11.
Hey,
Boom.
which ones did he get?
Hold on a second.
Well, controversy.
JT, 5 for 13.
Boom, baby. That's hitting like what, 375?
Dude, that's
Ryan
Hall of
went
Fame
3 for
numbers.
12.
Yeah.
250. Hey, I'm on base. Quarter of the time. The 3 that we all shared, we all went in on. Tua would have a better game than Lamar. Happened on 1 play.
Yep.
Literally.
Yes. The first play.
Didn't even have to score the touchdown.
So we all,
We got 3 points on the pass.
we all 3 got that one right. Jake also said that his wide receivers were combined for over 55. They did.
They did.
And
67.
then you said that Tony Pollard would be the highest scoring running back in that matchup, and he was.
Thank you.
The one that's up for debate is I have typed out DeAndre Swift, 75 rushing yards and a touchdown.
And I have written down DeAndre Swift 75 and a touchdown.
75 and a touch.
No.
But the reason why that one is controversial is because JT said his first bowl prediction was DeAndre Swift to have his most rushing yards since week 2. Right after you said that, Jake said, I'm going to piggyback off of that, and I'm going
I
to
said
say
I'm gonna
I'm going to take him
one-up
for
you. I said I was
75
gonna-
yards and a touchdown.
We can go back and listen. I said I was going to one-up you, and I was.
Let's
gonna
go to the
get
booth.
75 yards.
So
and a
when you say
touchdown.
one up, that means you're just adding the touchdown.
Why up the yards too? Because
I don't know what
his
his
total
most
yards
rushing
like
yard was this
56.
week.
Yeah, it was 55 or 56,
Yeah.
and I said he would have his best yet.
Okay, so Jake just added a touchdown.
3.5.
to JT.
There.
Jake went 3 for 11. And
Okay.
he got walked. He got hit by pitch.
There we go.
Does that work?
The sack.
Doesn't count as an bat. You would go 3 for 10,
You got
so
hit
3
in
for
a
11.
sack?
No, like a sack fly.
Oh, okay.
He got hit with a
Run.
sack fly.
But I still got out.
Oh, okay.
You're like that bird that Randy Johnson hit. We all feel bad for him
Why would you compare me to that? It's the weirdest thing you've ever
because
said.
it wasn't wrong. He's in the wrong place, at the wrong time.
All right, Ron. How
JT went 5 for 13.
God, dude, you're on fire.
Actually, it was 385. Continue.
DeAndre Swift, most rushing yards since week 2.
Got
That was right. I tried to get him to do most rushing yards of the year, but he had like 150.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna. He wasn't gonna do that.
JT also benefited from the 2 over Lamar. AJ Brown being 2 touchdowns.
Ha
Right. Taysom Hill scoring a touchdown.
ha!
Which I think, as bad as he's been most
He
of the
scored
year,
8 touchdowns.
He scored a lot this year. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown scoring 2 touchdowns.
I know when that dude's gonna go off, man.
You do.
It's
And when you know that dude's going to go off, Ryan, who went 3 for 12, knows when Derrick Henry's not.
because of your connection with the moment.
Derrick Henry under 12.
I think it is.
Right. I've got him for
Mike,
2 times
you really
being
think
under.
about it. There's too much connection
There
there.
really is, dude. We
Broach,
both got brothers.
Yes. Very good. I've also benefited from Tua versus Lamar.
Share the same last name.
And then Mark Andrews being under 10 points.
You talking about you and your brother?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. And he has a brother that shares his same last name.
Who are we talking about?
Him and St. Brown.
Yeah. Got a lot in common.
Equanimous?
Not him.
Or Amon-Ra?
That's my brother. He's Equanimous.
I don't know what we're talking about.
I don't either. I'm kind of lost.
We're done.
Yeah, hey, good week on bowl predictions. Let's see if we can do it again.
Trig's going to help us out.
Trig's can kill the day. All right, so we jump into week 14 with a special little treat towards the end.
Ooh.
With co-matchup of the weeks. Co-matchups of the week. There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Kamat Dubs?
Kamat Dubs. That's what we're looking at this week.
Ooh, I like
But first, let's go through the first 3 matchups before we get to the Kamat Dubs.
Yeah.
First matchup is 2 guys sitting at this very table.
Me.
Yes.
First matchup is Ryan versus Michael.
Me and you. You and me.
So we have a 1 versus 5 matchup, original projection and live projection for both. Fantasy Phenoms 122, League versus Me 105.
Yeah.
What was that sound?
I'm
I
really
had to
looking at
scroll
your.
down and look at my matchup. I mean, my lineup.
You know what I like? Jarek McKinnon in the freaking starting lineup.
I like it.
I do
Don't
kind of
have
like
a
that.
choice.
Even though I think
AJ
Jacob.
Dillon? Oh.
No, I mean, like, I think he's. Dude, you want to talk about a wide open running back?
Yes.
Isaiah Pacheco is like,
He's good.
dude, and he's angry.
Yeah,
Like,
he
I
runs
mean,
hard.
God, who was the old Dallas running back?
Mary
Barber.
Barber?
Yeah, that's what it
Rivers, man, Bob was the best running back.
They're not
Dallas had
related
last
that I
2
know
years.
of, but their running styles are very similar to me. With like, they're not exceptionally
They run
large
angry.
running backs, but
They
they
run
will
angry.
angry runners. But McKinnon's the better receiving back, kind of like that. The one thing I'm looking at on Ryan's team is the Jets matchup with the double up there. In a rain game, the Jets got the Bills a couple of weeks ago, if y'all don't remember that. So maybe a little bit of revenge wanting to come, but what else is projected in that matchup there, JT?
Snow!
Yeah.
Rain and snow, high of 35 degrees, 3.9 degrees Celsius for those of you listening that don't use the Fahrenheit system.
So, you know,
You got to be inclusive.
talking
You guys
about
have-
like,
we got a lot of
I don't know what, Ryan's usually expecting around like 50 points from those two, and that could be a matchup where if those two are kind of held under their projections, could make this a little bit tighter. of a
Tight, son.
matchup.
Tight, son. I got a bold prediction on Jarek McKinnon. I say that he scores a touchdown. He's only scored 2 all year.
Against a good Denver defense.
Yeah, I'm saying he scores a touchdown.
Denver's got the #1 defense in the league, right? Him and Dallas got to be up there.
Yeah.
San Fran.
San
I'd say
Fran's
those
coming up
3.
there now.
Yeah.
I'd say those 3, yeah.
I mean, even last week they only gave up 10 points, and it was a late touchdown to go from
Mhm.
3 to 10.
Yeah, something
That's how
like
math
that.
works.
Yeah, but I really don't have a choice on starting Jarek McKinnon. He has to go in.
You know what I also like?
What's
You
that?
got both Cincinnati
Yes.
running backs.
Eat up that Cincinnati rushing attack.
See, the reason
you
behind that is
AJ Dillon's on
AJ
bye.
Dillon's on bye.
Ken Walker's Q.
Ken Walker's probably not going to
Gus
play,
the Bus.
and then
You don't
Watson and Pittman are out, so I can't put them in my flex because they're both on bye. So it's basically between Samaje Perine and Gus Edwards, but
Not Travis
Gus
Homer.
Edwards- Travis Homer might go in there if Walker's announced out.
Officially out.
But the Cleveland run defense hasn't been good all year. And Mixon was getting like 70, 75% of the touches before he got hurt, and P-Ron was just coming in. But P-Ron showed that he can carry the loads. I think that might come closer to it's not going to be a 50-50, but like maybe a 60-40 split.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, again, you eat up. I think both of them look good.
But that's where it is right now.
So,
But if Kenneth Walker's out, I think Homer might go in because they're playing Carolina.
What if Kenneth Walker is in?
I don't know if I want to put him in, but he's too good to sit out, so he might have to go in.
It's like one of those where you are afraid that if you put him in and he tweaks it early and goes out.
It's one of those ones where like I want them to sit him out.
Yeah, I'd rather just get him fully healthy. So
No offense, I think they can beat Carolina without him.
Whoa.
But if they play him and he gets hurt in something where it could have been like a 1 week injury turns into the season ending, then I don't even know if they can make the playoffs. Because that running game between Penny at the beginning of the season and him for the rest of the season looked pretty good.
I got a question for Michael.
Don't do it.
So if Leonard Fournette, he's questionable right now. They're saying he's trending towards not playing. If that happens, you don't have any other running backs on your bench. What do you do?
Start Kamara.
Is there anybody you got your eye on in case?
No. I would just pick up somebody.
You want some assistance?
Yes, I do.
I like this game.
I want to bring this up because it happened.
You want assistance too?
No, we brought this up because it happened while we were recording. Amari Cooper's questionable.
Q.
Yeah.
Q is for question.
Tweaked his hip in Thursday's practice, didn't practice on Friday. So he's truly questionable. I was waiting if he was listed as out, I was going to pick up and start Corey Davis.
Okay.
We were doing our introductions, and I looked at my phone and got a notification from Yahoo that the league versus me, who is that guy, picked up Corey Davis.
Hey.
And if you look at his bench right now, Corey Davis is there. So
That's true.
But if Michael was just patient and allowed me to pick up Corey Davis, and Fournette goes out, there could have been a running back he could have picked up. Maybe Travis Homer.
Not today.
He could have picked up Travis Homer today, but I'm saying he could have picked up another running back.
Yeah, but what you getting at that you?
I want to pick up
running back.
I said
and
like,
he could have picked him up.
I wouldn't have.
Isn't that what you were saying?
I wouldn't have had to drop a running back.
because
I'd
you
have
just
moved
moved
Cooper into my
okay,
card.
okay.
But I'm saying a running back like Travis Homer, like I picked up early. You could have waited to pick up a running back instead of a wide receiver. Stolen from me!
Okay, Michael, I'm going to be honest with you.
There ain't nothing out there.
There's not a whole lot out
There's nothing out there,
You
buddy.
know, Mike Boone might work his way into that
Mike
different
Boone?
running back, but Black Murray looks like he's kind of controlling the carries there. The other one that I'm kind of looking at is maybe Hasty.
Maybe. I'll tell you who I was looking at. And again, it kind of depends on the health of Saquon Barkley because he's questionable
Matt
going
Breida?
this week.
Breida.
Maybe. Yeah. They don't really have many options in the passing game. They have to rely on the run, or at least again getting the running backs catches out of the backfield. So maybe Breida. Outside of that,
Dude, there's
I
nothing
don't
there.
know, man.
I've looked the past couple of weeks. People have been snatching up handcuff running backs like crazy. I've been doing it every Sunday. Like I think me and JT both had other people's handcuffs in the middle of the afternoon on Sunday. Just to have them, you know?
I think that's the route to take because
that's why I dropped Drake London a couple weeks ago. Picked up.
Who did you pick up? Was it what?
It was somebody garbage. No, I picked up P-Ron the week before.
Yeah, was it Hilliard, Dontrell
It might have
Hilliard?
been
Because
Dontrell
I've held Dontrell Hilliard
Yeah,
for a couple
Dontrell
of weeks.
Hilliard, and then
just
the
in
other
case.
one was Amir Abdullah. I don't remember which one I dropped Drake.
Yeah,
London
because I
for,
picked up
but-
Zamir White.
Yeah, because it was Josh Jacobs was questionable, so I was like, well, I just might as well throw something out there.
Yeah, I get it.
But, yeah, I mean it's tough once you get down this
That's
low.
why I
You
kind
don't
of
know.
like the Jermichael Hasty pickup is that if
ETN
ETN
goes
even
down,
has somewhat of a
it's true.
scare, he might be, or he is the next guy up there.
Yeah.
So, but you're also relying on them not throwing it 40 times, 50 times with your quarterback, which is
All
I got
another bowl.
I
George
got it.
Pickens for over 14 this week. I don't know if Deontay plays. I think Pickens is going to go score 14 plus.
I got one for Trig Mike.
All right.
Deshaun Watson throws his first touchdown of the year, and it goes to David Njoku.
Oh, I like that.
Ooh.
Oh, I did a double of
Yeah, Deshaun Watson
To David and
to Njoku. And again, I am putting the qualifier or the clarification here that will be Watson's first touchdown.
I
to
wrote down.
Njoku.
Yeah, I wrote down first TD pass. David
Okay.
Njoku.
So if it's a second, doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
I'm going specific, son.
I got a bold one as well. I'm going to go Ramondre Stevenson, his highest fantasy output of the season.
Dude, I was about to just say 100 and a touchdown, but you dwarfed it.
Damian Harris doesn't look like he's going to play. Jacoby Myers is out. Maybe that opens up a couple more
And I don't think
passes
Arizona's,
underneath.
Arizona's defense, especially in terms of run game and underneath, is not very strong. So
You said highest point total season?
Yeah. I
Which
think he's
would
at like
be-
23 is the highest so far. Maybe 23, 24.
Yeah,
23.1.
in week 6 against Cleveland.
All right.
No?
Hunter Henry scores a touchdown. It was an offensive explosion for New England.
Just hoping.
Dude, that's the only thing I got.
Did
I
anybody
dropped Gerald Everett too early because he got hurt that week.
Did anybody see that tackle on Trevor Lawrence like right at the end of halftime?
Is that the
I
one
didn't
that
see
hurt?
it.
How,
No.
how did he end up hurting his toe off of that? It looked like he like tore everything in his leg,
Yeah.
in his knee, and
somehow
now
it was
they're
just
saying
a
that it
toe.
was that it was a big toe injury.
You looking at
Now, when he says
Yeah, I'm
a big
interested.
toe injury, is like, did he hurt his big toe, or was it like a major injury to any of his toes?
I have no idea. It just did not. It looked bad. Like I was worried that he wasn't going to come out in the second half.
Who's your quarterback if he's out? Because
For this week, it would just
Bill
be
Cosby.
Deshaun.
oh yeah, because Fields on bye.
Bill Cosby.
It would be yeah.
I like how that's just his name. From
Oh, it's typed in every time on the bowl predictions.
Bill
Bill Cosby, first touchdown pass will go to David Njoku.
I'm trying to.
I'm cooking something up for
I
you.
want to get a better look at this. No, well, that's not even him. So
What are we talking about?
I think that was
Oh, you
Jimmy
looking
G.
at Trevor Lawrence thing?
yeah, it was a Jimmy G. I want to see this. What Michael's talking about. All right. It's hard to tell from this angle, but it does look like his knee has
Yeah, it
been
does
completely
look-
ripped apart. But it's his toe. Well, Michael Thomas has been out with a toe all year, so we'll see how that affects.
Yeah, he's
Trevor
supposed to play.
Lawrence.
At this
Michael
point,
Thomas
already
is supposed to play?
no, Trevor Lawrence.
It's almost like he got shot twice at the beginning of the year. Was that Brian Robinson only missed 4 games?
Yeah,
Michael Thomas has been out 3 years with a toe.
it really has. All
injury.
right, we got any other bolts?
Let's see. So far on bolds, JT, you've had 3. I've had 2. Michael's had 1. Jake hasn't had any. Step your game up over there.
I just don't see anything I
I
really
know.
like.
Well, let's make some picks then. Who
I
we
don't like-
taking?
I don't like half the ones I make.
Jake, who we taking? Who you take?
Just yeah.
Ryan.
Easy, clean sweep. Ryan, don't pick me out of pity. Amanda's gonna win. You gotta be above 500 after this week.
Oh man!
I'm taking Ryan as well.
All right.
You know what? I'm taking Michael.
No, I'm taking Tyler in this matchup. He's not even playing.
Are you taking Ryan? We need to get Brian's picks. Text
I'll
me.
take myself. I don't like it.
And
I'm gonna take Ryan, and with a bold prediction, I'm gonna say he doubles up my score.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
you just
I think I'm gonna be in the 60s.
but you hold on. You got Stevenson with his highest output of the season. You still think you will get doubled up?
You beat me. You beat me earlier this year by like 40.
Oh, that's funny.
I actually had a team that I could field. This time, I don't even know what I'm gonna do at running back.
Ryan doubles up Trig.
Golly, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how much faith I got in my team this week.
You saying like 60 to 120?
Nah, I think Ryan's probably gonna put up like a 150. I think I might be around 7.
A 150 with Jarrett McKinnon, Samaje
Hey,
Perine. I don't even have my touchdown machines. Christian Lawrence
And Josh Allen and Diggs versus Jets in the snow.
in the snow.
Man,
I'm
I
excited.
almost made a bold prediction on that one, but I don't think it's very bold. I was gonna say those.
I think Josh Allen.
Those two combined under 40.
Under 40.
Those two combined.
That's
under
bold.
40.
I don't think it's
Put
happening
it
this
down.
year.
Put it down. Diggs.
Allen combined.
I just put
under
Allen plus Diggs equals less than 40.
I put under 40. All right. So that takes us to our second matchup for Week 14. We have Jake versus Scorp.
Jake and Scorp. How you liking computer over there, Jake?
It's a different feel,
Yeah.
but I do like it.
All right. So with a live projection of 107, we have Turd Sandwiches going against the 4 seed with a live and original projection of 117, Scorpion King. Oh, man. So Jake had 2 players go on Thursday Night Football.
Secret weapon did not come through for me.
They were Devontae Adams with 8.6.
Is it secret when everybody knows that he's the guy?
No, except
Your
for
secret
Derek
weapon
Carr
did come.
apparently in the second
No,
half.
Your secret weapon did come through. Cam Akers scored a touchdown.
Hell yeah.
That
he
is your.
did.
That's
Dude.
who are we talking about?
He
We're
was
talking about
Devontae.
That's not your secret weapon.
If he had
Everybody
everybody
knows
fumble,
he's
he would have had
good.
double digits, and that would have been his second double-digit out point. Or no, third. He had one other one, but it would have been back-to-back weeks of double-digit points for Cam Akers. So,
Secret weapon.
If he wouldn't have lost the fumble, we had it.
yep.
And they won the game with Baker Mayfield.
I texted Bryan after the game and asked him should the Panthers trade for the Rams starting quarterback. He looks pretty good, and he said no.
Good analysis.
So the Rams are like one of those teams that I think if they actually still had their first round pick would be tanking right now, but they don't have their first round pick. So they're playing to win. So that draft pick that goes to the Lions doesn't look as good. Does that make sense to everybody right now?
But my thing is, I wouldn't do that. I would still try to tank. So my
you're gonna
second
hire
round
somebody?
pick would be higher.
I guess. I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying, but
I guess you want to play because
you
want
play to win the game.
Yep, anti-tanker.
Yeah, you want those other players that are on the team to
Yeah.
have the incentive to get their contract extension. You also want your team to be more attractive for free agents to come to. But yeah, I think Matt Stafford might retire.
I heard that for the first time yesterday.
But I think he might retire.
I heard that for the first time yesterday. I hadn't heard that until yesterday, and then you said it right now. I've heard it twice in 2 days.
Because he's been playing through a lot of major injuries his entire career. I mean, it looked like he might not make it 5 years in the league after
he didn't look good.
It is what took Peyton Manning out too was with a neck injury, and he wasn't throwing it with a lot of power behind his So you talk about a guy who's like, I have this major injury. I've been beat up my whole career. I got my Super Bowl.
That's what he came in and got a Super Bowl. I think he's.
If that neck injury is serious enough, the Rams in a bad situation because their salaries of players that are on the roster outside of Stafford are still insane. So it's going to be difficult to go get a big name and give them a lot of money.
I think they're like $120 million in just Stafford, Cup, Ramsey, and Donald.
Yeah, like
that's outrageous.
I got a bold. Jamar Chase 2 touchdowns.
Jamar Chase for 2 touchdowns?
I like it.
What's your bold one, though?
Latavius Murray.
3 touchdowns.
Latavius Murray's actually been like pretty solid from a fantasy
standpoint. He's been
standpoint.
good. They just can't score.
He's been like 10 to 15.
Yeah, he's solid. I mean,
it's just they don't score touchdowns.
No.
And Russ kills it because, I mean, he's getting pretty decent points with everyone lining up to make Russ throw. Like, that's the craziest thing about it. It's like they're trying to take away the running game and make Russ beat them, and he's still getting, over 80 yards a game. So
give me Darius Slayton for 100 yards.
Man,
at the beginning of the year we were talking about Russ.
And I'm thinking about benching Slayton.
I'll tell you why I'm saying Slayton 100 yards. They are playing Philadelphia.
Yep.
Which I know Philadelphia again, like
bad weather though. That's what's.
I get it.
Slay versus Slayton. You said 100 yards or score touchdown?
Nah, I just said 100 yards.
All right.
But Barkley's questionable. Say Barkley plays again. I don't think he's going to get like 30 touches.
This might get down early and have to throw.
Bad game script for the running game.
Yeah.
So I'll take a shot.
The one that
I think the Eagles have 2 of the top 5 rated corners.
They do
right now. So.
But all it takes is Darius Slayton.
One big play.
Yeah, big play, and then a couple other catches here and there.
I'm looking at Michael Gallup because I have him on my bench. Clearly, Dallas doesn't stop scoring even when they're up big. Like they keep running their offense, and it's against Houston in a dome, so you don't have to worry about the weather there. So I like Slayton in terms of like getting the targets, having the ability to maybe be playing from behind. The weather's kind of freaking me out a little bit, and the fact that he's going against 2 really good corners. So I'm really back and forth right now. I know I have Slayton in, but don't be surprised to see Michael Gallup in.
All right,
at the start.
Jake, got another thing for you. Michael Carter's going to outscore both of them.
Shit, against Buffalo.
You writing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go. I hope so. They said he looked healthy this week in practice.
I mean, because I made that bold, and I think you doubled up with me a couple weeks ago. As soon as Mike White got announced the starter, I said he's going to have a rushing and receiving touchdown just because he fits that type of offense they're running right now.
Yeah, but Zonovan Knight's been pretty good.
He has.
That's good.
All right, I got you for Michael Carter over
I said
Slayton and
outscores Gallup and Slayton. I didn't have any stats behind it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll allow it.
Well, thank you.
All right, I wanted to look at the quarterback matchup. We did this last week with the receiver game. And so Patrick Mahomes at Denver, Tua at Chargers. Who outscores who in this matchup?
Tua by a billion.
By a billion.
I'm not right.
No, I'm just saying anybody that plays the Chargers is going to lie him up because I've watched enough.
So you're
games.
taking Tua?
The Chargers.
Who are you taking, Mike?
Yeah, I'm gonna take 2 as well.
Yeah.
You got to ask me.
I like Tua.
He's a Tua guy.
I like Tua.
Yeah, I like Tua. I think a little bounce back, trying to get his confidence rolling before playoffs. A little bit of a struggle last week against
And
San Fran.
they do need to win.
Chargers suck.
They do need to win.
Yeah, they do because they're
Like,
in
they're-
that
Chargers
wild
suck.
card.
No Derwin James.
They've
no
only
Corey,
got,
no
I think they've got like a game or two up on the next wild card spot.
And Denver still is a team that has a good defense
Yeah.
and can cause some issues for opposing quarterbacks.
All right, question for you fellas about Dalvin Cook. I think he's
Related
gonna
to James Cook.
He is.
He is.
I think he's going to go for under 12.
Against Detroit, who's
Detroit's
been looking a lot better.
Detroit's
as
run
late.
defense has looked pretty good
Yeah.
last few weeks.
So you're
I
going
mean, they
Dalvin
shut
under
down
12?
who was it? Who they was? ETN last week.
And what about, because he's got two running backs going against each other in that matchup with Williams, do you think there's any chance that Swift repeats and continues to out-carry?
Swift doubles Jamal Williams. I think the tide's
Yeah, I mean,
turning.
that's gotta
Yeah,
be-
I think it has to be.
Well, I mean, he is the
I know you were
franchise
saying it, but I didn't know if it was
moving
going to be a bold
forward.
prediction or not.
Oh, look, everything that I say, write down.
Okay.
Just write it all down.
I'm a stenographer.
I think Keenan Allen has, I'm going to go bold, 10 receptions. I don't want to do yards and a touchdown. 10 receptions and a touchdown.
I did that a couple weeks ago, saying he'd get double-digit catches, and he had like 5.
But he had
He's gonna do it this week.
I know he
He's
had
gonna do it
14
this week.
targets last week, and I think they'll be playing from behind. So I'm hoping that Keenan Allen gets similar
You said-
targets and has more completions this time.
10 catches and a touchdown.
Yes.
All right.
I'm saying Mike Evans with his first touchdown since week 4.
Ooh.
Man.
Dang, that's a long time for Mike Evans not
You want
scoring.
to talk about like an offense that's been tough to watch? Like Tampa didn't do crap until final 4 minutes last week when Brady became GOAT again and led him back. I mean, that offense.
Brady's been GOAT status with less than 2 minutes to go in the game, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty accurate statement.
So in the previous matchup,
Yeah,
it
Brian,
was
I
a
got
nine
you right
sweep,
here.
yep.
I feel like Scorp has a lot of the guys on the same team.
I feel like Swift's got a lot of
He's got Thielen and Cook.
Stuck on the-
He's got Evans and White. He's got Ayuk and Kittle.
Did he do this last year?
Yeah,
With the-
yeah. A
He
better
was-
version, a little bit better version last
But it was
year.
Pittsburgh and Minnesota last
It
year.
was Pittsburgh, Minnesota, and
Smoking the reefer.
there was one more. I can't
He's
remember
got
what it was.
7 players in 2 games.
Yeah,
7 players going in 2 games.
yeah.
That's crazy.
So if those are high-scoring games, I feel like, man, Scorp's got a real good shot.
What if it ain't?
If they're not,
Ugh.
it could be bad. Yeah, that's my bolds. We ready to make picks?
Make picks.
Bryan
Alright.
took Scorp.
Brian took Scorp. Okay. Who did Brian take in that first match?
Right, it was a sweep.
They took Ryan. Okay. Ryan and taking Scorp. All right. I'm gonna take. Jake.
I'm also going to take Jake. I'm just going to take all the same picks as JT this week, so he can start running his mouth. I can stay above 500 hopefully.
What if I knew you were gonna do that and I'm tanking? Even though.
Would you bring down the ship with me? If there was a big door floating in the middle of the ocean, hypothetically,
Big door. Go.
both of us could technically fit on it.
Like, oh brother, war art now.
It's going more Titanic, but yes.
Never seen it.
Yeah, well,
I'll never let go.
what are you talking about? Never seen it. It happened in 1912.
I'm talking about the movie.
Oh, there was a movie? I'm saying hypothetically.
Okay. Big door. Right. Got it. Me and you. Ocean.
What I just
Ocean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
river.
and he's holding the
Atlantic.
hand.
Atlantic. Okay. I ain't
He's
going
on
to
the door. You're
If there's
in
room
the
for both
water.
of us on the door, would you make me like float in the water,
I'd make
or would you let me sit on the door with you? You'd let me float in the water, wouldn't you?
Well, hold on. Now.
Or you would both
That
ju-
would be stupid for.
Or
no,
we would
that
go,
be, no,
no, you would
that's
jump on the
dumb.
door, let the door float, and we would both. You would drag me down.
No, dummy. Neither of us would sit on
No,
the door.
dummy.
Neither of us would sit on the door.
So we both
Jake,
dive
you know what?
hypothermia sit in the
no,
water,
we put our arms up on it.
and we would die.
We don't-
Hypothermia.
You know,
It's a big door, really big.
how big a door we talk?
Huge.
Black body.
Where's
No
Coach
big
Gillum when
white
you need him?
man.
Damn, my cock is big.
If
Jeff Gillum?
well, you
Oh,
know
really?
what they.
Oh, they're pretty
All
good.
right, well, hold on, Ron. I'm gonna give you a little
flip
something
the
to think
door
about.
over?
I'll give you a little something to think about. If you were stranded in the ocean, you know what they tell you to do?
Die?
They tell you to completely get naked.
If I'm in the water, I'm gonna
That's how I go in, fella.
standing operating procedure, boy. This body doesn't touch the body of water unless she's Sheen. no clothes.
There was a guy that was just rescued.
I don't know if everybody realizes
Coast
we're
Guard.
trying to just kill time on this.
I'm not trying to kill. I'm telling you a story. There's a guy that was just rescued like a couple days ago, this past week, and again, like he had like fallen overboard. I don't really know how he got out there, but he's like again trying to survive in the ocean, just treading water, and that's the first thing they tell you to do is ditch all your clothes because they just weigh you down. You know what I mean? And
it's something you don't think of. Like
right, yeah.
Same thing when you're in the desert. They're like, hey, wear lots of clothes because sunburn and stuff like that's going to kill you. You need to cover yourself up. But that doesn't make sense. I'm like, I'm hot. I'm taking the clothes off.
Right. And
I'm in the cold water and put the clothes on. It's a reversal.
It is a reversal. And the Coast Guard found him, and they're like, you know, they ladder down, and the first thing the dude says to him is like, I ain't got no clothes on. and the Coast Guard's like, it's okay. And they film all of this. Yeah. So somewhere there's film of this naked dude just holding on to this guy being lifted up out of the water. I think it's funny.
Now, is this a video of the Coast Guard doing that, or is that another video?
There's two different videos. One has a twist at the end.
Right.
I'll let you guess what you want.
Now, when they twist, do they also bop it and pull it?
Flick it.
Spin it. Twist it.
Bop it.
Bop it.
Bop it.
Yeah.
Who you taking?
Not the last one.
Yep.
You and Mike?
I'm taking Jake as well.
Okay. All right, so we got 3 for Jake, 1 for Scorp. Jake, who you got?
Anticipation's killing me.
You can take yourself because I picked you, and I'm really good at picks.
I'm going to take Scorp.
What an idiot. Well, Bryan
He was going to say that no matter what.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Devontae not going for 30 scares me. I'm just kidding. Like, I think
Devontae going for single digits to scare you. Not going for 30, that's a little overkill.
Yeah. All right, so to our third matchup, we have JT versus Jordon.
All right, the last regular matchup of the week.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
You said it the best. All right, so we have an original and live projection for Cold Personality, 122.99, so we'll call it 123. 99! And a live projection of 131 for the team with no name. Now, again, not really much is going to change in these first 3 matchups, which is why, again, we went ahead and got them out. A little bit of seeding can change, but our big matchups here towards the end. So let's get through our last matchup of the regulars.
Yeah, the normies.
The normies. All right. Josh Jacobs, Thursday night with 18.4.
Pretty good week.
Pretty good week. And that's what puts Jordan at 18.4 right now.
I saw somebody said, like, why the Raiders are the Raiders, that they went against, like, the number 5 ranked run defense in the league, and they ran the ball 30 sometimes. It was, like, the number 21 or 22 ranked pass defense, and they threw it, like, 20 times. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Nah, I agree.
So,
Well, Josh Jacobs is a student.
Jamal Jacobs, too.
Jamal Jacobs, that's his cousin.
Where did he go to school?
He's still in high school.
Oh, okay, good.
Cal Polytech.
You got something.
yeah.
I see it.
So I'm looking at Jordan's lineup, and how many of you are a little surprised, even though Lamar's out, that Mark Andrews is on the bench and Knight is in the flex with a return of Michael Carter this week?
Yep.
And let's also not forget they are playing Buffalo. I know they lost Von Miller for the year, but it's still a good defense. It's still going to be kind of a nasty game. Like, I don't know, a little surprised by that.
I'll tell you what it is.
It's a bad move.
Jordan is completely off kilter. He doesn't know what's going on this week. Washington's on bye. It's like 17 of his players are not eligible to play this week.
Yeah.
So he just keeps throwing whatever.
I got a bold 4 Mark Andrews.
A bold Andrews.
He has 2 touchdowns. He's gotten a higher target share with Tyler Huntley
He played
than
very
he
well
has
with Huntley
with Lamar
last year.
Jackson. So, I definitely think you should start Mark Andrews
Hey,
every
and
time
if
tonight.
JT says scores 2 touchdowns for your players,
There's a
play
shot.
him. Just
There's a
play him.
shot.
Pretty good shot.
You know, I really do. I think Mark Andrews is going to have a good week. I think it's going to be a big bounce back week for old Mark.
It's a bounce back.
I got a bold prediction.
Let's hear
oh,
it.
bring a mic in there. What we got?
Involves your team and Broach's team. I'm going to say that Pollard and Zeke combined for 220 rushing yards.
Well, I was going to say I'm going with the same call I had last week, and Pollard is
You
the
said
highest
220?
scoring
220
running back in
plus,
this
yeah,
matchup.
for them combined.
All right, Jake, you're going Pollard.
Is the highest scoring running back again in this matchup.
All right.
I don't think Barkley's got a good matchup even if he plays. Eckler against Miami, that could become they're down early and have to throw the ball more. 18.4 is the number to beat right now. And I think Pollard against Houston, that could be a bloodbath. And especially if they're like, we're going to sit Zeke or something like that, I think he's going to have 2 touchdowns in some capacity and over 100 total yards. So that would, again, lead to him having.
For me, it's tough to say that that's a bold prediction because you made the same exact one last week, but he's got the number 1 and number 2 ranked running backs on the season, so it's definitely bold.
There's 6 running backs in the
I'm just
competition.
saying, it's not bold if you do it 2 weeks in a row, but Jordan's team, he's had those dominant running backs all year long, so I like it.
And Barks, I mean, like,
And
it's
they're
not
playing
forget, you
Houston.
got other good running backs on your team too, so like it's
not like you're throwing scrubs.
Can Tony Pollard do what Nick Chubb failed to do last week? Dominate a battle on defense.
Yeah, so I was a little surprised.
I didn't understand why Chubb didn't why they didn't just keep feeding him unless it was they wanted Cosby to be featured. I don't know.
Chubb pops.
I don't like him. I don't like.
We know.
I don't like the back of the
We
truck.
know. We know.
You know who he played for, right?
Who?
The guy that said we know.
No.
Stan Fouts. He was a Charger.
I thought, okay. If Saquon Barkley doesn't play, you know how I'm going to start?
Matt Breida.
No.
Well, you don't have him yet.
I'm going to start Dalvin Cook's brother.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you might even
Ricky
do
Cook.
Ricky Cook.
People Jones move Miles into the running back position.
I'm gonna start old James Cook if
I think that's
that
starting
happens.
to get more of a 50-50 split between him and Singletary.
Yeah.
I think it could be what last year was, where Singletary and Moss were splitting early on, and then somebody had Devin Singletary in the fantasy playoffs.
this guy
And the man just
pointed
went off.
Michael.
I think James Cook might do the same thing to Singletary that Singletary did to Moss last year.
I got Tyreek Hill for 2 touchdowns.
That's what I had last week. Didn't happen. So good luck to you, sir. You didn't have a bold on James Cook, right? You just said you can put him in
Oh
the
yeah, I
lineup.
just said he'd go in the lineup.
Okay.
Another one I think is going to be a little bit of a surprise is DJ Chark. Excuse me.
Yeah,
I
because
think-
Jamison Williams is coming back this week, right?
He came back last week.
Yeah, that's
Army
right.
played.
That's right.
I was really upset about it on the podcast, and then like 10 minutes after I said it, they announced that he was back and he was coming back.
I think a lot of attention can be thrown at St. Brown. He'll get some one-on-one opportunities. I don't know how much Williams is going to be in the flow of the offense yet. So I think DJ's still solid number 2 there, and I think it could be maybe a high-scoring game, maybe not. I mean, we really don't know.
The
But
good thing about St. Brown is he lines up almost exclusively in the slot, so like
yeah,
Chart is not going to really take away.
no
They're not operating the same
space.
part of the field.
I got another one. D-Hop, lowest scoring game of the season.
Yeah, New England. I like that.
non-suspension season, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
So it would be under 11.6.
I like that one a lot.
Under 11.6 because he's been really good. I mean, I think Jordon. I think he gained a lot of momentum when he got D-Hop
When he
back.
got- yep,
like
when he came back.
it feels like we all kind of slept on him a little bit. I know I did. I wasn't thinking about DeAndre Hopkins.
I
in the
I
draft.
was
tried
thinking
to-
about it, but I thought he took it like a round or two early, and I was like, man, you're gonna
What an idiot!
It was like one of those like you gotta win until he comes back. You can't have a dude like
I
that.
sent so many trades for
Yeah.
DeAndre
And
Hopkins.
Jordan won until.
But Jordan figured a lot of stuff out. Like he had a team that was
Jordan's
the
done a
number
really
one
good
team,
job.
and then he adds that. I'm gonna say Waddle with a bounce back.
Waddle.
Yeah, he only had 1.7 last week.
Yeah, he
And
got hurt early, and they tried to bring him back in, and then he came back out, and he came back in,
Yeah,
and
he
came
was
back
just
out.
in and out after
I'm
that.
gonna say 18 plus fantasy points.
You could say every Dolphins that's rostered
Yeah,
in the fantasy matchup scores double digits, and you're probably not
I'm
gonna
gonna
roll.
keep calling a bunch of big bold predictions for Dolphin players, especially wide receivers.
Helps you out.
And then on the
How
other
much did you
side,
say
top
for Jalen Waddle?
He said 18 plus.
but he is outscored by
Now, is
his
that fantasy
teammate.
points or yards? Just want to make sure.
Fantasy points.
Okay.
And then Tyreek Hill goes for 20 plus.
Okay.
Now, that's two separate
like,
bowls,
yeah, keep
right?
it
Yeah, it's 2 separate.
Okay.
Dude, I really wanted Tyreek. Really wanted, and nobody else did. Not as much as I
Because
did.
you knew something we didn't know.
I didn't know anything.
You said
I
it
didn't
scores
know.
20 plus, right?
I just got blind faith in guys. Like Tua when he gets that start over Fitzpatrick a couple years ago,
Yeah.
and everybody
You
was
like
like up
Tua.
in arms about it. I was like, I'm just gonna like this guy.
Yeah.
Got no reason to.
No reason not to.
Only thing I knew about him is when I was going to the gym one morning, and it just happened to be after that national championship
How do
game.
you say his last name?
Yeah, and that's what
Was
they
that
were
what it
talking about.
Is this Giannis? Who is this?
Yeah, that's what they were talking about. And I said, okay, I'm going to learn how to say that dude's name, and then I'm going to like him.
Okay.
That was my whole strategy.
My
So
thing
blind
is-
faith, it's not. I mean,
You have
it's not
blind
perfect.
faith. I have blind hatred, like Tyreek, Travis Kelce.
That's not blind. You know why you hate him.
Yeah, I guess. But it's ignorant hate. It's like
Didn't all hate ignorant, Ryan?
Yes. Not the Cosby.
hey.
That's well deserved.
I was given, like
I know
a
you
stupid-
were doing a Miss Congeniality type answer.
I've never seen
What's
that.
What's the perfect date? April 25th. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. All he needs is a light
It's
jacket.
Jake's birthday.
That's what I think about every time I've seen that movie. All 200 times I've watched it. It's great.
Never seen that movie.
Sandra
It is,
Bullock.
and it is disturbing that you've seen it that many times.
Well, Michael Caine's in it.
Okay.
Oh, I do like Michael Caine. Hate Sandra Bullock though. Hate,
Wow.
hate.
Why do you hate her?
Because she's blind.
I just don't like her.
You don't give.
I haven't seen. What's
I
that
ain't
movie,
got
Bird Box?
to. I cannot like something just because I don't like it.
You don't like Slumdog Millionaire, but you never gave it a chance.
I don't like Slumdog Millionaire for very good reason. Because it
It's
won
the best
Best
movie of the
Picture
year.
in
What?
2008 over The
was.
Dark Knight.
Well, it was better.
The movie came out in 2008.
Yeah, but it was
Best
better.
Picture was 2009.
But the movie came out in 2008.
But Jake said it was better.
If you love Dark Knight
You ever
so
seen
much,
Slumdog Millionaire? And you loved it?
it was a good
I
movie.
watched it more than I watched Dark Knight.
Okay, well then.
But
That was a confession to your faggocy.
If Dark Knight... Faggocy, is that like a legacy for game?
Kinda.
Well, then it fits. But if Dark Knight is this good, and this movie won it over, just don't you think, hey, I love Dark Knight so much.
Check the movies. Check the movies up for Best Picture this year. I don't know why I did.
I don't even know what
Check the
movie-
movies for Best Picture this year.
Are you from Jersey?
I don't know why.
I'm not looking it up.
I'm gonna look it up.
You almost sounded like, what's her
Let's
name?
hold on. Let's go back to fantasy football.
Why? This is interesting.
I do have stuff. Well, I gotta leave like around 4:30, so I really do need to get back.
Oh,
to
daggone.
Joe Burrow.
What about it?
Give me Joe Burrow for.
He struggles against Cleveland.
He does.
Does he?
Yes.
I didn't know this. Never mind.
He's undefeated against Pat Mahomes, but struggles
But
against
struggles
Okay.
against
All right. Never
which
mind.
makes
No,
sense.
don't listen to me.
All right. 35 for Joe Burrow.
Oh, well, you did have Chase with 2 touchdowns.
Right. So I'm kind of banking, and then
Yeah.
I'm banking
He gets,
that maybe Higgins
Higgins
gets
gets
one.
one.
and-
You-
yeah.
You're
And he
banking
might run one
that
again.
Joe Burrow throws both
And
of them.
Piron might get a
Yeah.
check down. I mean, they like him out of the backfield, so okay,
Okay.
35.
That'd be fun.
All right.
Okay. All right, who we taking in this matchup?
Ooh, I'm gonna take JT.
Okay. Bryan chose me as well.
I'm going to take JT.
Okay. Bryan?
I don't know what to do.
See? Haha.
Because I always want to pick
Who I picked?
Jordan.
Oh.
No,
Yeah,
because
he has.
every time I actually win a pick, it's because I pick Jordan.
Yeah.
But then everybody else is picking JT. I'm pick Jordan. It's my favorite ginger for a reason.
And he goes below 500.
Man, I'm picking myself.
So everybody picked JT but me?
I like your matchups, man. You got
Yeah,
some
I
real
really
good
do.
matchups. And I
Yeah,
think-
the only thing I'm kind of concerned about is Barkley. But
Yeah.
But even then, you got a backup plan. You get.
it's James Cook, son.
And he's a lot like now.
A lot. A lot. Apparently they have the same DNA.
Yes.
Indeed.
You're quite right.
All right, so we have a special treat for you listeners at home.
Bobby, it's time for the matchup of the week. Yeah, Jake, what do we do with matchup of the week?
Position by position breakdown.
Number one.
That still gets me.
That was the coolest thing we
How,
ever.
dude, when you did that last week, man, I was speechless.
Me and JT were just staring at each other big eyed, like, oh my god.
It's like Amanda Seyfried.
Yes, Ryan, like Amanda Seyfried. All right, so
just like
You
that.
remember in Ted 2 where they talk about she looked like Gollum?
yeah, I do remember that. That's actually not wrong. Okay, so for our first of 2 matchup of the weeks, we have the number 9 seed, Josh Broach, newly named The Line Forever,
Forever.
with a picture of all of us from one of our
Switch
100-point
doors.
games.
Last time Ryan played a competitive sport,
How do you think that would go if we tried that?
I would die.
Let's play.
Let's do it.
I'm down.
Dude, I haven't played pickup basketball since we played at the gym that
Yeah.
day after we went to
Ryan,
Ross.
how does that really affect your game?
I'm still I feel a conversationalist hit the occasional leg over there.
Watching random basketball last night.
Okay.
I did. I was in the gym and I was sweating. It's hot.
Well,
Don't wear hoodies in hot gyms.
Thank you.
Food for thought.
So we had the line forever
boy.
with a live projection of 113 in a must-win
Gotta win
week.
it. Gotta
Has
win
to
it.
win. Here's the
All
scenario.
comes down to this.
Josh
What's the
Broach,
scenario?
J Bro.
the line forever,
The
must
line
win.
forever.
For Josh Broach to get into the playoffs, Ransdale,
Ransdale.
Smith-Schuster, and the Jujus must lose. And what's the point? What's the point difference between the two?
I'm looking it up.
And Josh Broach must outscore Ransdale by
12.
12 points.
Well, actually 13.
13 points.
Roughly 13, yeah.
So it is doable.
Oh, yes.
But
absolutely.
he plays Autonomy as American, who has been officially eliminated for the playoffs, but has a live projection of 130.
And tell him how many points he scored on the season. Where would he rank?
He
in our-
would, and Autonomy as American, Tyler,
Yes.
he has
Rank-
the 5th most points all season.
So he's consistently put up good points. He's just gotten beat by other people's better.
He
leagues.
needs to hang out with Jordan
Yeah.
from previous years on fantasy defense and me this year of just people playing against you don't score a lot of
And I
points.
thought you also gave another interesting stat before. If you
I
created a team off the points scored against Tyler, this
He'd be
He would
second.
be second in the league behind
that
Jordan.
theoretical team would be
If
second.
the team that played against Tyler every week this year was an actual team in
Yes.
our league, they'd be in second place
in points,
as far as
yeah.
points.
So, but does that mean the line forever is going to have an?
The line is
explosion?
dominant in defense.
So let's see what
Explosion
happens when the line plays someone who is not part of said line.
Oh yeah, he don't even know about them.
Like
Doesn't know about
he
the
don't
line.
even
know.
if it's a
He don't have a
parallel-
game plan for it because he's never seen
No,
it. Oh,
As somebody
this
that's
is
gone
gonna
against the
kill
line,
him.
it's impenetrable.
Yeah.
Impenetrable.
You need a K Money or a Pal brother.
You have to have a deep shooter.
Or a person that was a part of the line going against it. 'cause
True.
they knew what-
Then that line wasn't complete, so it's
Yeah,
not
it was-
actually the
it's
line.
not the real
That's a
line.
line segment. This is like Orion's belt. It's got 3 stars. The galaxy's on it.
Let's look at these matchups.
Men in Black. All right, so for our first position, we have quarterback. We have Geno Smith versus Kirk Cousins. Who you taking?
Kirky.
Taking Kirk Cousins versus
Yeah.
Detroit in a dome.
I don't know, man. Detroit's looked better, like what Ryan was pointing at a while ago.
Yeah.
Carolina secondary hasn't been bad either.
They good.
Like,
I think you run on Carolina more than you pass on them, right?
I mean, Carolina's defense in general has actually gotten better since Wilkes took over as head coach. Like, other than the Cincinnati debacle where Joe Mixon had 5 touchdowns and it was just horrible.
Thank
you. I think that's a pretty good matchup.
Now, Geno had a shoulder injury earlier in the week, but now
There's
he's
no
fully
Q.
healthy, and they basically said that he's
full good.
it's late in the season.
Give
for
me
the
Geno
quarterback.
Smith and give me Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf for the touchdown. That has
That
nothing to
means
do.
Geno would have 2.
Now,
Yeah.
all right. So does that mean that for your bowl prediction, all 3 of them have to score, or are you doing 3 separate ones?
You like how Tyler put?
I'll put on mine
You
DK
put him in
and
the lineup.
Lockett
I would
TD.
have 2.
Okay, so that you don't have to put anything for Geno. Just
I don't have to put anything for Geno, but it does
Okay.
affect Geno, and Tyler has Lockett in his flex, so it does play part of this matchup.
I'm going to take Geno because you don't know what's happening at the running back position for them this week.
Yeah.
Where Kirk Cousins has not only a healthy Cook, but even Madison's looked good. So I think that could impact it just a little bit. I think they both are going to be pretty close though.
I think that Minnesota-Detroit game could be pretty high scoring, so it could be one of those things
Yeah.
where it's a shootout. You don't know, but I think I'm gonna take Geno, yeah, because I think even if Walker's not in there, I think Travis Homer's more of a receiving back anyway,
Yeah.
so it could be dump offs to the running game instead of actually running between the tackles. So I'm gonna go Geno on that one, but it's gonna be close.
All right, speaking of the Minnesota-Detroit game, Tyler has, obviously, has Kirk Cousins. He also has Justin Jefferson in his wide receiver 1 with CeeDee Lamb and Chris Godwin rounding it out. Going against A.J. Brown, Christian Kirk, and Demarcus Robinson for Jay Broach. Who you taking
Give
receiver-wise?
me Tyler by a landslide.
Yeah, I got to take
But
Tyler
see,
there.
the one thing that I kind of look at on the other side is Christian Kirk going against a Tennessee team that just got lit up by a number 1 wide receiver.
That's
So-
with a fully healthy Trevor Lawrence, though. We were talking about his toe injury. Is
Yeah.
he playing? Do we know if Trevor Lawrence is playing or
He
not?
said he's supposed to play.
Okay. But if
He,
he's
he gives a lot to Kirk. Like
Yeah.
Kirk's going to get a lot of targets.
It's
I
been
mean,
Kirk
Christian
and
Kirk's the
Zay
top
Jones,
10
basically.
wide receiver this season.
Yeah. And you
Then
can't,
they
you can't
kinda-
really run on
So
Tennessee.
here, I mean, obviously Jefferson and Lamb have very good matchups at the top of that.
I don't know if Houston's a really good matchup because everybody just runs it. Nobody throws against
Yeah,
it.
they don't really give up a whole lot through the air because, again, everybody
But their
runs.
number one corner's still out, and they just
They
well,
don't
I
have
guess yeah. I mean, they kind of held Cleveland last week in all
Houston-
facets of offense.
Only one quarterback that's played
Oh.
against Houston this year has scored over 20 fantasy points. That was Justin Herbert. He scored 21. It's the only one over 20, I believe.
Stat man over
CeeDee
here.
Lamb lately, man. 16 over the last 5 weeks that he's played 16.3, 32.5. His one down week was 7, 14.7, 17.9. Like
The
CeeDee's
CD's a stud. It just
been
needs to
going
be, you
all
need to
6
have
damn
a
returns.
passing touchdown against Houston early because Houston just doesn't have the offense to keep up with us. Everybody's just been running the clock out against us.
You said Tyler by a mile, and now you're like.
Because Justin Jefferson's on that roster.
So you think
Speaking
he's
of
going for
Justin
40?
Jefferson, I got a bold prediction.
Oh, it's got to be bold.
Give me Kirk Cousins and Jefferson for 50 plus.
Okay.
Hello, puppy. Thank you. I made the noise. That's my fault. You said 50 plus?
Yes.
All right. That takes us to the. You got one?
I want
You got one. All right, let's hear it.
With Christian Kirk, 2 touchdowns.
Woo! That's JT's territory. And I
Yeah,
don't like
that's why I'm going with it. I almost wanted to go 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
it. Ooh, that's
but,
tough. You gotta.
Yeah, I'm gonna draw a line. Get it? Line.
Line forever. All right, so jumping to the running backs.
What did pick? Or did everybody pick receivers?
Yeah, we all.
Yeah, I
Okay,
picked-
all right, all right.
Bob.
So,
I picked
my
Tyler.
bad.
Jumping to running
I went
backs.
Fleetwood Mac on it.
For the line forever, we have Nick Chubb and Ezekiel Elliott going against Travis Etienne and Najee
Going
Harris.
line forever.
Give me
just
line
because of-
forever.
Line
Bob.
forever.
Elliott against Houston could be big. I think you might see Elliott for the first time go over 20 fantasy points this season. I said ever, didn't I?
Yeah,
I meant this season.
Well,
He
in
hasn't done
fantasy, previous seasons don't matter because each year's a new year. You don't get
Yeah, he's got a
rollover
point.
points.
Are you making that?
Is that bold?
Yeah, his highest output on the season is 17.7. So can I just say his highest fantasy output
Yeah.
on the season? No, I'm gonna
Say
go
whatever you want.
Zeke's-
What did you say? Highest
Zeke's
points.
highest fantasy output on the season. I'm glad I traded you. Zeke.
Yeah.
You still want him? I can see it in your eyes. Yeah, give me the line forever.
Little bounce back for Chubb, you think?
I
I mean, we were talking about that kind of earlier with the
I don't know,
Bill
man.
Cosby show. You know, like
It's catching on. It's catching on.
is it going to impact his fantasy worth? I don't know if I trust ETN versus a good Tennessee,
Terrible matchups on Tyler's side.
Yeah.
running
Yeah.
backs.
and then Najee versus Baltimore, which I don't think Baltimore's been like lights out run defense, but they've gotten better.
They
since
shut
made a
down
couple-
Latavius last
They've
week.
been like Roquan Smith. He's been
That just
getting
sounds
better.
funny to
Yeah.
say. don't it?
Since Roquan Smith's been more acclimated, him and Patrick
He's still
Queen have
relevant.
been like
He really is.
relevant.
I'm going to go line forever. Pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
All right, so to the tight end matchup, we have
Oh,
TJ.
we had a guest bowl prediction on this one. What Broach sent into the group message yesterday?
Oh yeah, Broach
Oh,
did
yeah.
send something out.
All right, who's checked?
I had to shout out my boys.
I'm trying to find it.
Okay.
We were a day after the Battle of December 9th happened.
Guess bold prediction. TJ for 20 plus fantasy points.
Revenge game.
That's right.
TJ, it wins
Yeah.
it easy then.
I mean, he's the best tight end in football. I don't know what we're talking about here.
I like a guess bold prediction.
Yeah,
I
I like
really
just
like
through
that.
a group message.
We had one through
Phone
phone
call.
call.
Yeah, I like him. I really do.
He's not even supposed to be a guest.
And who was the first guest phone call on this podcast?
Trigger Mike.
This guy right here. Now he's
You
sitting
can
with
talk
us.
to Bryan.
What a journey.
Bryan will listen.
You talk
He'll
to him. He won't show up at the podcast, but you can talk to him. He'll listen.
Yeah, I guess give me Hawkinson.
Yeah,
this
you
line.
gotta
I
do
think.
Even
Don't
though I
just
did
score
Hey
20.
man, you're big on revenge games.
I am huge on revenge games.
Dude, go bold. Give me a bold for
21 plus.
Whoa.
as much as I love TJ Hawkinson,
I thought you were just
best
gonna
tight
say
end
2
football,
touchdowns.
Dulcich outscores him this week. I'm
Okay.
going Dulcich.
That's bold.
I wanted Dulcich, man. I wanted it pretty bad this
I
week.
just don't trust.
Now, why didn't you
Russell
spend? Why didn't you
Wilson,
spend enough money?
I didn't know how much was enough. I looked at everybody that was
man.
in like playoff contention, and they didn't need a tight end, so I spent and then Tyler spends $12 on him.
So it's,
Somebody's not even in the playoffs. What are you doing,
that was his highest fantasy output last week with 11.5.
Dulcich?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
He's
they said they've been lining him up at wide receiver, and Cortland Sutton's probably not playing.
Right.
this
Yeah, it's
He's
good.
up
It
there
is
with
good.
Just the
Russell.
weeks before then, 2.15, 1.6.
He was on free agency for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
had some
I
bad.
mean, Russell Wilson is his
I
quarterback.
tried to figure out
Yeah.
the first.
What can we really? Yeah. What can we really expect?
All right, what did I say? Greg Dulcich.
Outscores TJ.
I'm just going to say he's the high scoring of the week. In this, his high scoring of the season. And I think he wins this matchup.
Okay.
I thought you were saying he was going to be the highest scoring tight end.
I did too.
If this was last week, that might be not that bad because I think that was like 11 points.
Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
All right, so to the flex we go.
Give me Lockett.
Devin Singletary versus Tyler Lockett. Yeah, give me Lockett.
Yeah, give me Lockett.
Yeah. Man, Jets' defense is pretty good too. Like, they get overshadowed sometimes by the quarterback issues they've had there, but the defense keeps them in games.
And you got to watch out for the James Cook.
And what you said while
Here's
ago,
Here's pretty good.
there's a
good
running back controversy kind of going on there.
Yeah,
not controversy,
but a little bit more of a split.
Yeah.
And then does Pittsburgh's defense score more than 11?
No.
I don't know, man. Like
I'd say I'm going Pittsburgh
in a
over
rain
11.
game.
Yeah. This backup quarterback.
I don't
Tyler
know
Huntley.
who's running the ball because they're saying JK's going
Not
to play.
Lamar.
No.
Yeah.
And Tyler Huntley did have he had one really good game, but he had quite a few games with some turnovers last year.
So I mean, you're
give me
saying maybe a
Pittsburgh.
pick six or something like that could change the tide within the scoring output for.
I mean, really, if they just score.
And they got TJ Watt. So
Yeah,
But there is a possibility this ends up being like one of those ugly
Like
9 to
8,
6 type.
It's also a
Pittsburgh.
divisional game too, so.
I mean, that's the rivalry game in that division,
yeah,
so it might
for
be
sure.
one of those things where it's just ugly.
But yeah, give me Pittsburgh over 11.
Okay.
I'll go with it too.
All right. Okay.
All right, so
Man, what a call this one is.
man, J Bro has to win. If he loses any hopes of the playoffs, out of sight. He has to win.
Where
he
does
has
he
to
make up the
win
point
somewhat
difference?
convincingly.
Like, tell me where
He has to win
Broach
the
has
running
to
back.
Running back has to win it.
Like,
Running
it has
back,
to
and
be
I
big.
Running back and quarterback, Gino has to have a really good game.
And Hawkinson.
I think he's got to keep it close at wide receiver. Like, I think if he walks out of the wide receiver matchup under 10 points,
Does he have
wins the
anybody
matchup.
besides DeMarcus Robinson that he could play? Nico's out. Dotson's on bye. Moore's out. No, he doesn't have anything.
All right, well, let me see if there's anything on the waiver
I was
list.
about to say, for me, with it being when you're in, I think I would have to drop Washington's D or Jahan Dotson
Jahan.
because I don't think DeMarcus is the guy.
Not a whole lot on
But there's
waiver
not- there's
wire.
nothing there, so it might not
just
be.
drop him.
I don't know. I'm just saying I don't want my season on the line and me having DeMarcus Robinson in my lineup.
Yeah, but there's really
But
not
there's
a whole
nothing
lot.
there, so it's you got to do what you got to do.
Trent Sherfield.
Now, if Tyreek doesn't play with his injury or illness or whatever he's got, that might be a last-second ad.
Trent Sherfield, I think
that I
that
might
might be the only guy I would really
What
even
about
think about
even
picking.
Isaiah McKenzie? If
Third wide receiver in a snow game.
that's true.
It's tough. I'm saying Sherfield's your best bet if you're going to
Yeah,
pick
I mean-
somebody up. But I don't know if I feel better with him over DeMarcus Robinson.
No, it's a dart through.
Yeah,
either way.
DeMarcus Robinson is, I guess, the number one receiver there.
How many has he been getting targets since Huntley took over?
Well, he
He had
only took
8
over
last
week.
week.
Yeah.
I mean, he's seen some decent targets since.
He's at 8-4, 9-4, 8.
He's seen some decent targets, and he's had,
He doesn't score, so that doesn't help him. But
yeah. All right, so who we taking?
I'm taking the spoiler.
Go ahead.
Taking Tyler?
Yeah, I always take Tyler.
Yeah, I'm taking Tyler.
You
Boyd.
said you weren't today.
I said I wasn't last week too, and I took him. I said I wasn't going to take him when me and him played each other 2 weeks ago. And I took
All
him.
right.
spoiled
Who'd
Roach's
Brian
playoff.
take?
I think he's the spoiler.
He took Tyler as well.
Brian took Tyler?
Yeah.
All right. Jake?
I kind of want to hold out hope here, make it a fun
Oh, I want Broach to win. I think it'd be entertaining.
You know what I'm doing? I'll tell you where I'm going.
Broach because we're
Hold the line! Hold the line! Yes!
I
The
hate-
line forever!
I hate the line. Like the guys that make up the line, but I hate the line.
That's why we do it.
And you took Tyler, Trick?
Yes.
All right. So that's matchup of the week number one. But we have another matchup of the week. Comot Dubs in
Simmons.
Bobby, it's time for the matchup of the week.
We get it twice.
Jake, what do we do with matchup of the week?
We get it twice.
position by position breakdown.
again. Every time I hear that, man, I don't know.
It gets me.
All right. So for our second matchup of the week, unprecedented, I must say.
Yeah, this one.
I must add.
It's a barn burner.
We
here,
never
guys.
do this.
This
We
is huge.
have
This is huge.
swear.
The
I've
close,
never done this
not
before.
only the closest matchup of the
God.
week, but again, all right, let me introduce it and then I'll tell you the whole bit. So we have Smith-Schuster and the Juju's. Live projection 116 versus Victim of the System, live projection 115. Now, for Ransdale, holds the 8 seed. If he wins,
He's in.
He's in. Winning
No
in.
question.
No question about
We
it.
can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far. There's too much to lose tonight. Keep our composure.
If he can do that.
If he can do that, he's in the playoffs. But if he loses, he leaves the door open. He leaves the door open. So,
I don't have it.
Ah, that would have been a good one.
let's jump into the matchup.
All right.
Kyler Murray versus Justin Herbert.
In Bryan's unprecedented 17th matchup of the week.
Yeah. Brian has been a lot of Matt Dubs.
Give me the bear.
Yeah, give me.
I got to take Herbert
Give me
there.
J- Herbert.
He's going to be behind.
JT's been making this one a lot lately. Herbert 3 touchdowns.
Ah, man, I was going to do that.
Well, then
I'll do it
Make
too.
it a round table.
We're all going?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'll
Herbert
go
for
with it.
3?
Man.
I think Keenan's going to get at least
Everybody
one.
here loves the
And I have a
Chargers.
tight end that he's targeted a little bit more heavily lately.
He's been targeting them all year
Yeah.
long. It's just.
It's making it real
All
complicated
right.
with Cole commit.
Man, already behind the 8 ball. But the receiver matchup may give Ransdale a little bit of an edge. So we got Debo Samuel, got Devontae Smith, got Marquise Hollywood Brown going against DJ Moore, Jerry Jeudy, and Mike Williams.
So, what do you think, Michael, of DJ Moore back with Sam Darnold, who did look to get him the ball a lot more last year? With that being said, if they're going to be playing from behind like we kind of assume that they will be, he could be in line for...
Yeah, I love DJ. That was the reason I was worried about trading him was I thought Darnold would come back at some point.
Wool in that corner, the rookie that Seattle drafted, has been pretty good this year.
Yeah.
Was it Tariq Woolen? Something, I can't remember what his name. He's been pretty good this year. But yeah, this Darnold loves Moore.
He does.
He does.
And
And
Joni loves Chachi.
don't forget how good
So
Moore
there's that.
was with... wasn't he a top 5 in receiving yards?
Moore's been good with everybody
Yeah.
except for Baker.
Yeah. So I think he well exceeds his projection there.
Oh,
at
yeah.
8.63.
8 is very
Yeah, I actually think he outscores Debo on the other side.
Yeah.
The issue for me is how healthy is Mike Williams?
I say Mike Williams goes for 80 and a touchdown. Which I don't think he's done.
I'm telling you, if that happens, I might pick Bryan's receivers over Andrews.
I'm
I'm
picking Bryan.
I'm taking Bryan's.
I'm going to take Bryan's as well just because I don't like the weather on Andrew's side.
Yeah.
I like the weather on Andrew's side a lot of
I
different
don't
games.
like the Hollywood Brown against New England in a bad game, and I don't know how productive Murray's going to be. Don't forget, San Fran's down 2 quarterbacks. They're on they're Mr. Irrelevant quarterback, and then
Now that
Devontae
might make
Smith
Debo getting the
could be
ball
the
at the goal line. I mean, at the yard
Line
line of
of
scrimmage
scrimmage,
to get the ball in his hands, but that's it's hard to project.
yeah, I feel like there's a lot of questions on Andrew's side
Yeah.
where I like the opportunity on Bryan's side.
Yeah, I really like Jerry Jeudy.
And Judy's, when he's not been hurt, has been pretty productive on the field. Like, he's actually been more
Yet again, it's
reliable than Cortland Sutton this year.
It's not
Yes.
Judy's fault that Russell Wilson's been terrible.
Yes.
Or is it?
It's not.
Okay.
He's not.
All right.
Not, dude.
So let's jump to the running backs.
Hold on a second.
You got another one?
I'm gonna go Hollywood
Hollywood.
for 14 plus.
Whoa. New England.
I think they're gonna try to take away D Hop like one of y'all said
Yeah.
in Jordan matchup earlier.
All right, gotcha. All right, so let's go to the running backs. For Ransdale, we have Christian McCaffrey and Deonta Foreman. Excuse me. And we got Derrick Henry and DeAndre Swift for Mr. Roberts. I've already got one on DeAndre Swift. Give me one on Derrick Henry, 130 rushing yards plus.
Any tutties?
Oh, yeah.
You said Henry
2
130.
touchdowns.
Wow, way to go bold. 130 and 2 tutties.
If you look, he dominates Jacksonville most of the
Yeah.
time.
And he hadn't played well lately. I feel like they're about to get him going in a big way.
I'm going to double up with JT on that one because I was already going to say 102 touchdowns, but when he said
You said
130,
130 yards and 2 TDs, right?
Yeah.
we're going bold.
Both of you doing it?
Bold to the
Yeah.
wall.
Trig, you tripling that up? Don't
I'm
you do
not.
it.
I'm
Don't
going
do
to
it.
go bold and say Deonta Foreman outscores Derrick Henry.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, take that.
Went big time.
Okay.
What y'all think about McCaffrey against Tampa?
Like, I feel like they're going to have to give him the
Yeah,
ball.
he's going to do McCaffrey-like things.
But Tampa's defense still hasn't been horrible this year.
Yeah, I mean, they've been still pretty
Yeah.
good against
Yeah.
running back. Not as dominant
And
as they were
I
last
always
year.
kind of get a little afraid of running back on third string quarterback like maybe they're gonna really pressure the line of scrimmage.
But that also
Take
gives
the
him
run
that
game
safety
over.
valve.
Yeah. Check down.
Well, I mean, but still, linebackers around the line of scrimmage, even check downs are more complex or complicated because that's where everything is.
Yeah.
Where if it was a packed box, you would see the over the top shots. Where I think Ayuk or someone could come through big.
Give me McCaffrey for a rushing and receiving touchdown.
Okay. Did you
Not
think you might
passing?
have 15 this week, buddy?
No,
No passing?
no passing this week. Oh, I put passing on mine. This is the official book.
All right, Swift, 100 all-purpose yards and a touchdown.
All right, Jake said DeAndre Swift 100 rushing yards.
All-purpose yards. If he returned something,
I was about to say, dude, I'm not giving you
22.
return yards.
Yes,
Me
you are. I said
and
on
JT
purpose.
played in the fantasy league, a plug league one time.
We
It was,
did.
you got received.
And that's ended up being all my
Darren
receivers.
Sproles went in the first round and was like a top 3 player in the league.
I did
It's
take
ridiculous.
Cordell Patterson real early, too. Like this season.
All right, you said all-purpose and a touchdown or not?
Yes, give me another touchdown. I think he's trying to make a play for that RB1 there, especially gain the trust of Campbell in the red zone.
Well, I really need to have Jameis Winston finish the season out strong so he can be a top 5 quarterback like I predicted.
I need Kadarius Toney to play.
Play. I like the Conquo start if we're moving down.
Wait.
to tight end. You got another one?
No, who are we taking between the two?
I'm gonna take Bryan.
We'll take Bryan as well.
I'm taking
I'm
him.
taking Ransdale
Okay. All right.
Split.
Now we can jump to the tight end.
because I think it's going to go back to a Jay Willie game.
The Muth is Luth.
Dude. I like Okonkwo, I really do. I think he's probably going to start taking over for Austin Hooper.
I do too.
And with Traylon Burks being out with concussion,
Yeah, I like a Conquo.
Conquo might be pretty good this week,
Conquo.
but probably no Deontay Johnson. Friermuth is going to get even more targets than he got the past couple weeks.
Or they
Nasty
pick
game.
What's up?
Tight end's
So
more
it's
reliable.
Or pick
Yeah,
going ball.
yeah, I'm gonna take Friermuth in this, but I do like a Conquo.
Yeah, I think Okonkwo is going to be their number 1 tight end next year. It's going to basically be like Jonnu Smith used to
Yeah.
be the backup for Delaney Walker, and then when Delaney Walker moved on, Jonnu Smith was that athletic freak that took over for him. I think that's going to happen.
That's kind of what I see
And
too.
that is not Austin Hooper.
Hey, Austin Hooper is. Hey, I don't move that much, but I'll just catch it and fall down. Is that cool? All right.
I think the flex
do it.
positions.
All right, so to the flex, we got James Conner, we got Raheem Mostert.
Give me Mostert.
I was going to say Mostert
Yeah,
against that
yeah,
lack
give
of
me-
a
give me
run
most-
What's Jeff Wilson's latest?
I don't know. Give me Mostert for 14 plus though.
Oh.
Dude,
Poor
he's so
Chargers.
fast, and the Chargers are so bad. I'm telling you, no Derwin James. That's going to be tough to watch if he doesn't play. Because he's been like the only player on the defense that's done anything. He plays like 6 different positions. Like, oh, he's lined up at defensive end, linebacker, safety, corner.
It's your boy.
He is, and he's not playing.
I'll take Connor, just barely though.
Connor just needs to score. I
Yeah.
don't think he's been scoring as much this year. Like last year, I
Not
think
as
he
well.
was.
Yeah, he had like
last
20
I
touchdowns
think he was
last year.
second in the league in touchdowns last year, and he's got what 4 on the year this year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had some pretty good games in a row. 22, 12.4, and then 19.5.
Yeah, well, he played the Chargers
and
that
coming off a
last
bye
game.
week, so
Yeah, he did.
but I don't know.
He's not playing the Chargers
It,
again.
I feel like I always give New England so much credit, especially defensively. Like I don't like having my players go against their defense. I always feel like it's a tough matchup. Mostert has the better matchup. I think Connor's got the for sure like gonna get the red zone carries.
Connor's got the
Gonna-
guaranteed
workload,
workload.
yeah, the only thing that makes me a little nervous with Mostert is if it is the Tua game where he's throwing a lot of touchdowns and Mostert doesn't get as many opportunities on the ground.
But Mostert can catch
Yeah,
passes.
I'll go Connor, but if it is, it's not by much.
That's what
I think the projection should be closer than it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the only reason is because they don't know Jeff Wilson's status.
Yeah.
I think if Jeff Wilson gets it announced out, Mostert's will go up to probably around 12.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so who we taking in the Dallas versus Buffalo matchup? The defense.
Give me Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah, I'm taking Dallas too.
I'm going to take Dallas.
That's a
bold
high-
prediction.
All right.
Go ahead.
Bold.
Their most sacks of the season, which will be 8.
Damn.
Oh, golly.
I feel bad for David Smith. He's got to come
I
back.
think we
against
all
Dallas.
should feel bad for.
All right.
That's one of the highest like defensive projections, like 14. Like usually you're excited if it's around 12.
Yeah. 14-13, I mean, that's going to be a good
Yeah,
defensive battle at the end. All right, so who we taking?
Oh, this is a close one.
This is a close
This is a
one.
good one. I'm gonna go
This is like
Bryan because I want the fun. Like I pick Broach to win, so if Broach can win and Bryan wins, then it all comes down to a point spread.
If it comes
I
down
wanna
to like
see
a
it.
tiebreaker, that's when it gets interesting.
Yeah, that's what I want. That
I'm taking
so.
Bryan as well.
I'm taking Bryan.
I'm taking Bryan.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Who'd Bryan take?
Bryan took Bryan. Bryan believes in Bryan.
Bryan
Dang,
likes
so
some
clean
Bryan.
sweep. All right,
On
just
the
to
matchup.
reiterate, Ransdale, if he wins, he's in. If he loses, he has to make sure that if Broach wins, he still has at least 12 more points than Broach.
Yep.
Man, that's going to be good.
So I've got Bryan winning and Tyler winning.
Dude, listen.
So that means Broach won't make it, right?
Right.
Okay.
Me and you set up to where
Let's go it before we sign off real quick. If that scenario plays out, where Bryan beats Andrew and then Broach beats
Tyler.
yes, does he cover the spread? Let's just say that. Does he cover the spread? Does he beat Andrew's team by
Now, when you
12
say the
points?
spread, are you saying does he make up the point
Yes,
difference
yes,
to
that's what I'm
jumping?
saying. So does Broach's team outscore Andrew's team by 13
All right,
points this
now
week?
let's look at the matchups and see what their
So the-
projections are.
So it was for
Andrews
at
is 116 and Broach's is at 113. So as of right now,
close there.
no.
Well, I mean, look at that.
I'm saying like if their projections, if they were
Go,
to meet their
Ryan.
projections or get their projections, it wouldn't happen, regardless of the wins and losses.
All right, well, what do you think's going to happen?
Oh man,
Mud Dog's gonna win 30-27.
That's what we're going
Ain't
to
no
be.
guess that's what it's
Give
gonna
me
be.
Broach makes it by 4 points.
Dude. Oh,
The line forever!
I
Give
just
me
love
Smith
it.
Shiesties.
You taking so he doesn't outscore it. So you'd say Andrew covers the spread.
I think Andrew covered the spread, but also
He
picked
also
Broach
picked-
to lose.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but if you're saying the scenario where
Yeah,
they both,
no,
if the situation happens where it's just
If
based
we
off
weren't
points,
even doing it just on the playoff entry, just like team versus team, if we were matching them up against each other this week, who would you have taken and by how much?
I mean, Andrew. I don't think Broach will cover it.
Dude,
I
I
just
like some of these.
I hope I'm
matchups
wrong,
with
but-
Broach, man.
Yet again, I just don't like that DeMarcus Robinson.
That's the only thing I hate about
You
it.
know
But
who
I
would
like
look good
the
at
Elliott.
Mark
I
Robinson
like
spot?
the
Who's
Kirk.
that?
Corey Davis.
Corey Davis.
No.
You know who looked in that Amari Cooper spot?
Amari
Cooper. But,
Yeah.
but if he's out, Corey Davis.
Lines forever.
The line is forever. All right.
Puppy, you keep
So,
sliding back. I keep
Interesting week. We'll see how it shakes out. We'll break it down next week as we enter week
Playoffs.
1 of the fantasy playoffs.
Tyler, you won't be on the episode next week other than recap.
All right. From us to you, this is the Fantasy Football 5 signing off.
Bye.